My mother-in-law keeps overstepping my parenting. I finally stood my ground.
Girl, why don't you take 3 steps back real quick? 3 steps back.
And then what? That's it? Just 3 steps back?
She's overstepping.
This weekend, we, husband, daughter 4 years old, and son 11 months are going camping.
Yay.
We're meeting mother-in-law and father-in-law out there, followed by sister-in-law and her fiance. Possibly some friends as well, but probably not overnight. So mainly I'll be stuck with the in-laws all weekend. Haha. By the way, this comes from Fickle Lionheart, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, the camping spot is literally in the middle of nowhere. You drive through a very tiny, thin path that fits one vehicle at a time very slowly for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Then you suddenly come to a huge opening with a gorgeous beach and a lake. It's our favorite spot, and we go every year, except last year because I was super pregnant with our second baby, which is part of my issue.
What, you keep getting pregnant?
I consider myself to have a fairly shiny spine now, getting shinier with every interaction with mother-in-law. However, I never used to have one. In fact, for the entire time my daughter's been growing up until this year, I had what I referred to as a limp noodle spine when it came to mother-in-law. She has an obnoxiously ginormous and loud presence/personality and is the main character in every room she steps in. Because of this, when my daughter was growing up, my mother-in-law boundary stomped constantly and basically took over as if she were the mom. I honestly feel like she likes to play mommy with my kids. It's gross and weird. She's always posing with them for photos as if she's the mom, saying things like, "Oh, don't worry, Grammy just has to walk away for a second, but I'll be back, don't be sad." Meanwhile, they don't even care or notice she's walking away. She just acts like she's number one in their life. Or, "Tell Grammy. Grammy will help you. What you need, Grammy will get it for you." Which sounds nice and innocent enough, but I swear she does it in a way that pushes me aside and makes it seem like she's drilling into my kid's head to go to Grammy and not mom for things, if that makes sense.
If we get like a big jump in time,
Yeah.
this might be a problem. Because imagine if the kids do.
Go to Grammy.
Grammy, I need to get out of jail.
Grammy. Well, that's actually, kind of sucks for Grammy. She has to always deal with them.
Well, they always go to
Bailing them out of
Grammy, and
jail.
then you don't know that your child
He's in jail.
is in jail.
So when we used to go camping with my firstborn, she ruined so many experiences by just being herself, being her usual overtaking, "It's all about me" self. For example, my daughter has never been cuddly or affectionate, and when she is, it's a rare and cherished moment for me. She would be snuggling me around the campfire before bedtime, and mother-in-law would come marching across the circle to us, literally saying something like, "Oh, she's being so cuddly, I want cuddles," and just take her out of my arms and walk back to her seat, which left me so shocked I couldn't even move or speak because WTF?
It's just a weekend. It's just a weekend. It's just a weekend.
She's constantly going on about how she's the best swimmer ever. And I was trying to show my toddler some tips, like punting your feet and floating, super basic stuff. And she kept trying to take over, making it seem like I know nothing in comparison to her. Dude, I would not want this lady around my children.
Yeah, also, like, get your own kids.
Get your own kids.
You gotta be a grandma. You know what grandmas do?
You already had your kids.
What do grandmas do, Sophia?
They, give money or something.
Yeah, candy.
Yeah, and they give candy.
Yeah, they don't mother.
They pinch your cheeks.
And they let you watch TV.
No, it's like soap operas. Like,
Oh, yeah, the Young and Restless.
Young and
Dude, I stayed up to date with all of those.
Yeah, Young and
I
Restless
always
and The Price is Right, bro.
Yes!
I always watch Deal or No Deal,
Mm.
Master Chef, and
What?
I Dream of Jeannie.
Wow.
Those were the essentials
I
at
don't
my
know. It
aunt's
sounds like
house.
Riley and I had the same grandma.
Yeah.
That sounds really.
Did you sometimes get to watch like really old
Yep.
70s
Yep.
sitcoms?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
that's
Love
what I
Lucy.
was
Even like really old, like I Love Lucy.
Good.
Yeah,
good
I Dream of
times.
Jeannie's a really old one.
Yeah,
You guys
I Dream
never
of
watched
Jeannie's
that?
one, but like yours is oddly specific. Young and the Restless
Yeah, dude.
got me invested as a 8-year-old.
I'm not sure how to explain it, but she makes everything about her and calls all the attention to herself. She will follow my kids around and hover over them and then sit right back beside them, breathing down their necks so she can be all, "Oh, look at me. It's me with the kids. Look at me building sandcastles or blowing bubbles or swimming or whatever I'm doing." No matter what I do, she inserts herself. Even when I try saying something to my kids, she's right there beside me, repeating it but changing it to say, yeah, yelling makes Grammy sad. If I just told them, when you yell, it makes people feel sad, it's like she's grooming / manipulating them to revolve around her, like I feel like she did / does to my husband. I hope that makes sense. She's always lunging at me and others like a maniac for my second baby, constantly leaping at whoever has him with her arms out, frantically saying, I'll take him, which sounds fine, but I also literally will be standing beside her and she deliberately keeps walking away and rolls her eyes when I follow her. Or if she needs to give him to someone else for a moment to do something, she pretends I'm not there with my arms out for him and asks people to take him until someone else takes him. That's his mom.
What?
Give him to his mom.
What?
Or if I grab him from her, she acts annoyed and pissy that I took him and acts like I'm a witch, and then wonders why I never want to give him to her or want her near us, me and my baby, because she acts so friggin' weird. At least I think that's weird behavior. So anyway, I know dang well she's going to do this again with my son, and it's his first time camping and he's my last baby. Like I said, I have more of a spine now, so I'm looking forward to going and getting a redemption first, I guess. But I feel like a new mom now that I'm able to speak up and not feel uncomfortable for saying no. But I'm still worried about her behavior because she is relentless and gives 0 Fs about no's and boundaries.
Have you ever been a part of a family where a certain family member will care about a child whenever they're young, like a baby, up until they're about 4, and then they don't really care about them, and they're very protective of them at that age?
Yeah, they just got like baby fever, but then they're like, okay, this is like a child now. I'm not interested.
Yeah. I would like to know how mother-in-law treated her Opie's husband later in life, and seeing what kind of patterns we got going here, because you can kind of tell what this mother-in-law is going to do with your kid.
Yeah.
Be like, do I want those effects that my husband went through for my children to go through?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I think if she can't listen to the boundaries that you guys are trying to set, then maybe she doesn't get to be around the kids.
Yikes.
Since we are in the middle of nowhere, stuck together, we're not camping in the same thing. We have a pop-up trailer and she has a tent, but we're still camping very close beside each other. I don't want to ruffle too many feathers, so I'm looking for things to do / say to make her back off when she starts interfering with me, making memories with my kids, and undermining my parenting. I don't want it to cause awkwardness or a big fight or anything. I just want to deliver the message that she needs to back off.
Do we let our chronic PP overtake us and we beat around the bush saying it? Or do we just go ahead and say it?
Chronic
I think you just go ahead and say it.
Yeah? How would you say it?
I think you go up
Back
to mother-in-law and you say, hey, it seems like, I've repeatedly talked to you about how you've been sidelining me while I'm trying to parent. And if you continue to do this, I'm not going to allow you to be around my kids.
Right.
And you make sure that your partner's on the same page too.
Also, we're just on this trip for a weekend though, right?
Yeah.
I think we can do it. I think we can do it.
Can we do it? Can we do it?
Is
folks?
this am
Can we
I
do
kind
it,
of being
folks?
crazy? Can we get through this? Some
I
people
feel
are
like
unbearable.
I feel like we could get through a weekend.
Yeah.
But how many weekends do you have to get through, Like there's always going to be another mountain. You're always going to want to make
camping trip.
it move.
Dang.
Also, for the record, husband is on my side. It took a long time, but he has my back now. But also note that because of this, she has been relentlessly pushing back at both of us 10 times harder because she knows we are more solid and when we aren't taking crap anymore. And she hates it. So now we have to deal with her being extra wild with kid number 2. I can't just leave and go home on a whim. Once we go out, we are out there for the weekend. And also for the poor mother-in-law people out there, she does get her grandma time and will get plenty of moments with my kids over the weekend. She also lives 10 minutes away and sees them an overwhelming amount every week. I just feel like she doesn't also need to interfere with my time as their mom or take over the whole weekend. And lastly, father-in-law is amazing and respects all the boundaries and rules, even if he doesn't understand or agree. But unfortunately, he's an enabler to mother-in-law. And sister-in-law and fiance are also great. It's literally just mother-in-law who's horrible. And there is an update, but do you have any thoughts?
What do you think, Yon?
Just push her. I mean, like, get her away, because you don't want to imprint. She's kind of like imprinting herself on the child, where it's like I'm mommy now, in a way where it's like no, like you had your shot, you had your time, you already were a mom. Let me be a mom. Like I don't get me wrong, I love the help that she's trying to do and trying to get, but it's over like the title says, overstepping her boundaries.
Yep.
I think that's great because moms deserve help, parents deserve help, and they need help, and that's what the grandparents are there for, but not like this.
Yeah, no. Me growing up, see my grandma take care of me. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary. She was just, I don't know, just be a grandma.
Just be grandma.
Yeah, she'll like make you something like food.
Make me some
like,
toast. I don't know.
Yeah.
Knit me a sweater.
Yeah? Those are classic grandma things.
Classic grandma things. Why are you trying to overstep your grandma?
I wonder if the new modern grandma things, whenever we're older, is like, Grandpa, just 3D print me something.
Grandma, can you 3D print me something?
I hope not. Or like, if I'm a grandpa.
I mean, are you going to be crocheting your kids something?
I don't know how to. I mean, I actually technically have. I did know at one point how to crochet and knit. I'm going to make my mom do it all.
I probably will whittle a stick for a kid at some point.
Whittle a stick.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm going to like play dolls or something with my kids, my grandkids.
I'll build a Lego set with my grandkids.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a movie production with my kids.
Like, grandma, come make a TikTok with us, grandma.
Yep.
They're like, oh, this old thing called TikTok.
Have you heard of Vine?
And we're like,
Back in my day, we only had 6 seconds.
That's all I needed.
all we needed.
to make you guys. Just joking. Jokes.
Man.
Come on, lighten the mood.
Man.
Where you at? It's like
I'm gone, man.
it's just like
Update.
I'm gonna get her back. Okay, my mission, this story, she's gonna laugh. She's gonna come back to life. I got it, guys.
Update. For a summary, my mother-in-law needs to be the center of attention at all times, makes everything about her, bulldozes over everyone's boundaries, and gaslights/manipulates to get her way,
Ew.
including pretending she's so embarrassing or so hurt or heartbroken over ridiculous things to make you feel bad and give in to her. She also plays mommy with my kids to the point she's completely taking over whenever she's around, and has even created a barricade with multiple chairs between me and my second baby that she snatched out of my arms so I couldn't get to her quickly.
What?
Is this
What?
woman playing freaking Squid Games?
Yeah. Go on.
You know, when they make a barricade at night so that you can't get attacked by the other players?
Yeah, we're playing Fortnite.
Oh, yeah. Fortnite. Is this woman in the French Revolution?
Capture the flag. Capture the baby.
Oh, I want to play Capture the Flag. She makes my life miserable, and she is exhausting to even think about. Anyway, here is how my weekend went, since so many people asked for an update.
Oh boy.
I'm extremely irritated and exhausted, which from my original post, I already said I knew I would be. So I don't need any I told you so people, lol. I mainly went for my kids, and I did have a good time with them, and also honestly with everyone else except mother-in-law. So other than her, I guess it was a decent weekend, but here are some highlights. I guess so. Bullet points. Got to the campsite where mother-in-law and father-in-law had already set up their camping gear. And of course, mother-in-law charged me and the kids, or female in 11 months, immediately buzzing in their ears and hovering around them. Literally every time I tried to say anything to my 4-year-old daughter, mother-in-law was right there repeating what I said and adding her own 2 cents in, or just straight up going against what I was saying and saying something else. I had to constantly tell her to let me parent my daughter and to back off, to which she acted annoyed and walked away, or sometimes she literally just laughed. Ha! Like a crazy person.
Dude, what planet is this woman on?
The crazy person planet. My daughter took sister-in-law's beach towel and ran away with it, then got distracted by something else and threw it on the ground. We camped on a sandy beach. Her fresh towel got full of sand, and I told my daughter to pick up Auntie's towel, give it back, and say sorry. My daughter was cranky as it was the last day. We were mid-packing up, and it was coming up on her nap time, so she was whining and saying no. She also gets embarrassed when she needs to say sorry, so she says no because she's embarrassed to do it. So I'm standing there trying to tell my daughter that it's okay and she isn't in trouble, but she does need to give it back and say sorry for throwing it in the sand. Here comes mother-in-law over and picks up the towel and says, "Here, I'll do it. Do you want me to do it?" To which I say, "No, mother-in-law. She needs to do it. And mother-in-law ignored me and kept telling my daughter, it's okay. It's okay. I just said, no, daughter, you need to say sorry. And eventually just straight up told mother-in-law again to back off and stop interfering and going against me.
Nice.
All right.
Then I told my daughter in front of mother-in-law that she needs to listen to mommy, and if someone else tells her something after mom says something, then what they say doesn't matter because she should listen to mom. Mother-in-law again acted like I was just a witch or something. My daughter fell and started crying. Super simple. She was fine. This is another event that happened. She was in mother-in-law's tent with mother-in-law hanging out and tripped on the opening while walking out of the tent. I heard her cry and yell to her from some steps away, daughter, are you all right? To which mother-in-law answered for her, yeah, she's fine. Are you daughter? Is your name daughter?
Wow. I didn't know you could understand my daughter's emotions.
I didn't know you were a mind reader. So I shouted back, well, I want to hear my daughter tell me she's all right. That's why I asked her. Not a peep from mother-in-law. By the way, if it isn't obvious by now, mother-in-law loves to intimidate people and force them to do what she wants. But as soon as you call her out or fight back, she starts stumbling over her words, grasping at straws, trying to gaslight or manipulate you for her power back, and usually ends up making some snarky comment about how she doesn't even care and walking away. Every time my daughter wants to do something with me, it's like my mother-in-law was jealous or something. Mother-in-law just kept hovering around and trying to lure my daughter and son into doing it with her instead. Like they were swimming with me in the lake, and mother-in-law kept buzzing around my daughter saying, come swim with Nana, come swim with Nana. And my daughter was very clearly getting annoyed and kept saying, no, I'm swimming with my mommy. And mother-in-law just would not accept it until father-in-law overheard and said, stop bullying them.
Nice.
In a half-joking way, but it definitely called her attention to her and made her go swim away by herself. Then she called attention to herself by telling everyone to look at how far out she swam.
Dude, okay.
Is she a child? She's
That's-
like, look how far out I swam.
I was about to say that.
Look, I can do a handstand.
If I was this person's partner, I would get the ick so quick. Like, what
I
are we
know.
doing?
Come on.
What?
How could you be with someone like this? What? How does this happen?
I have no idea.
I'm so confused right now. What in her mind from her past is making her act like this? That's what I want to know. I want to dive deep into
I think
her.
she's just a very jealous person who like needs attention on her at all times.
I want to dive deep into her brain cells and understand the mapping of her behavior.
Yeah.
Like, how does someone get this way? Jealousy?
I think so.
She an only child?
I need answers.
Everyone I tried talking to and asking questions, mother-in-law would answer for them. No one bats an eye. They're so used to it. It's ridiculous. I wasn't having any of her crap this weekend, so right off the bat, every time she did it, I either repeated my question to the person, told her I wasn't asking her, or said something in a lighthearted way like, oh, I didn't realize your name was X, which made people giggle but got the point across. Except mother-in-law is such an intention hogger, she wouldn't back down. She would answer question after question. Husband was telling a story from his past, and I asked 3 questions in a row to get a better picture. And mother-in-law kept answering as if it was her story. She wasn't even there. She tells everyone's stories as if it's her own, as if she was there, and tries to find ways to insert herself into everyone's stories. It was daughter's bedtime, and I brought 2 books to the campfire. One for me, one for her dad to read to her, as we had done every single night since she was a few weeks old. Mother-in-law literally had her on her lap and would not let her go. I kept saying, come here, this is OP. Come here, daughter. Come read a story. And mother-in-law kept holding her on her lap and saying, oh, Nana can read it. Want Nana to read it instead? And I kept saying, no. Mom and Dad have read her stories since she was a baby. This is what she's used to. We can read the stories. At one point, she even slid daughter off her lap because she accidentally punted over her adult soda on the ground and held her with one arm and frantically said, don't go anywhere. To which I called her out and said, well, you don't have to hold my daughter hostage. She can go if she wants to. And mother-in-law acted all sheepish and said, still holding her, well, yeah, she can, but she said she wants to sit on my lap. Meanwhile, my daughter was clearly trying to subtly wander away when she thought she had a chance to finally. This poor 4-year-old's like, please, she's holding me hostage.
I
Please
can't
let me
go
out.
anywhere. Oh, dude. Can't we do anything here?
Well, it seems like your husband needs to do more. Because you said that he's on your side,
Seems
but
like
like,
father-in-law
why are
gets
you the
more of
only
it,
one?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
father-in-law definitely.
I would have a-
Husband does that functions.
I would have a conversation with the father-in-law, like,
Yeah.
could you tell her to stop? And you know, like, you see what she's doing.
Yeah. Ease up, man.
I have seen family members where their wife just acts super crazy, and the husband gives up. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
can't
like-
do
Like,
anything.
she's
You know
just
why?
so crazy.
It's because usually the husband does not want to deal with it because they're like, oh, I'm gonna get the now it's gonna be the focus is gonna be towards me, like the anger is gonna be just straight towards me, and you're like, I'd rather not.
Yeah,
Yup.
dude, it's so sad to watch.
Miss Jaybird says OP does need to relax a bit too. Use her so you can get a break. Yeah, I mean, it seems like this is just constant though. Like even when OP wants to hang out with her kids.
Whenever the reading the story thing, maybe let the mother-in-law do it.
Yeah, I feel
Doesn't
like
seem
that
like
would be a
too
moment where
big.
that would be fine.
If it was like, once every, in a blue moon or like a couple times a month, that's fine. But it's
Yeah.
like it's literally every time you see the baby, it's like, no, stop.
Yeah, I feel like in normal circumstances, if this were like a normal mother-in-law, you'd be like, okay, well, you could let her read the stories. That's, let her be involved
Yeah.
a little bit. But because it's so, so constant, I got up when I noticed that and just picked her up and took her over to me and continued our bedtime routine, ignoring mother-in-law the entire time after that, which she hated. Sister-in-law was saying how husband and I make such cute babies and then teasing her brother, saying, which obviously they got all of that from OP, not you. To which mother-in-law piped up and said, thanks a lot. And we all looked at her, confused. Which then she went on and on about how my kids somehow come from all of her personal genes. And I was saying they don't get their cuteness from husband. Her son was a personal attack just to her. So I at first said, no, they get all their genes from me because, I'm the mother. And husband, too, threw him in his case. Wait, what? No, they get all their genes from me because, I'm the mother. And husband, too, threw him in case she took the angle. It's not just me, lol. She kept going on, though. So finally I said louder than before, mother-in-law, you can take credit for your own kids, which are right there. I pointed to sister-in-law and husband. They are your kids. These are mine. And I just simply walked away. Sister-in-law thought it was very amusing and backed me up, saying, yeah, Mom, we're your kids, not Opie's kids, in a you're a silly goose type of tone. Basically, a bunch of little things happened, but my relationship with my mother-in-law is very much passing away by 1,000 paper cuts. These little things may sound silly, but altogether, they're so freaking irritating.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, yeah, she just keeps doing it. Everything is a battle with this woman.
I can only imagine how irritated Sophia is with me day to day because I know I work with her and I'm also not the best roommate ever.
No, you are.
Okay, good. So, like, I'm not a death by 1,000 cuts?
No.
I think I am. Okay, hear me out. I am, but if it wasn't for my awesome personality, you'd probably be like, he's dead to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you sucked as a person.
Yeah.
You don't suck as a person.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm saying, I can understand how all these little things stacking up upon another.
It's frustrating. Katie Paladin says more people need to start calling mother-in-law out on this behavior and not just OP. I know.
Reverse psychology or no, okay, take it back. What you need to do is whenever mother-in-law does something you like, oh my gosh, thank you, I love that. That is so kind of you.
Positive reinforcement.
Anything else?
Yeah, nothing. You ignore her. These, I just find her entire existence unnecessary. She truly is unbearable. My kids love her, especially my daughter, so I endure her presence for their sake. But I've set ground rules like my husband has to be there at all times because I refuse to be alone with her. That's when she's at her most FU, when she knows husband isn't around to witness it or tell her to knock it off. For those who didn't see my previous post, I said husband had recently gone up to her home, which is 15 minutes away, and told her that he had been a crappy husband and father due to always putting her and her wants/feelings above everyone else's. And that stops now, finally. So far, things have been better. This weekend, he didn't really notice much. In his defense, he was cooking food and taking care of the fire, while I basically just got to hang out with the kids or go off and take some quiet me time when I got overwhelmed by mother-in-law. He immediately stepped in and took the kids so I could do that. It was great. He didn't do much, but when he did hear me telling mother-in-law to back down, he did tell her to be quiet and back off too. He'd say little comments like, OP is their mom, she's got this handled. and got his mom to go back off. He doesn't know about all the tiny things she did that annoyed me that I've listed, and I'm not sure if I'll tell him if it's even worth it or not. But anyway, that was my weekend. Oh, and as an added bonus, our used, very old pop-up trailer we bought off someone local broke all to heck from the super rough trail you take to get to the camping beach. So we can't go camping anymore this year. Woohoo! Ha! Is that like a thank God we don't have to go camping with the family anymore?
Wait, read that next sentence.
It's okay. We got a cheap used one
Oh.
just to see how camping would be with our family of 4. And we knew it would probably not last more than a year or so.
Got it. I thought she was going to be like, glad I can't see mother-in-law
Yeah,
anymore.
it's okay. I didn't want to go camping again anyway.
I know some people that are really into like trailer camping.
Mm-hmm.
They spend 2 months every weekend going.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
it is. Yeah,
I mean, I like outdoors.
I want to go cabin glamping. I want to go stay in a cabin.
We
And
got to
do
go to
what?
we got to go to Gatlinburg,
Where's that?
Tennessee.
Let's do it. If we
What's-
get a cabin, I'm so down to do like hiking every day and go like.
Why not in the woods?
Let's get a cabin by a lake.
You want to go to Tahoe or Big Bear?
Well, we could also go to Vermont. So overall, my weekend was spent making memories with the kids while simultaneously continuously telling mother-in-law to F off. I am beyond drained and so glad it's over. Sorry for such a long post. If you read through it, you can give me some tips on how to better handle things. Going no contact is not an option, and I'm very, very low contact anyway. Or just offer solidarity by telling me I'm not alone and you have mother-in-laws who act in similar ways. I am just blown away by her behavior every time I see her. And the worst part, I think, is that everyone else seems oblivious to it and treats me like I'm the crazy one if I say something. She is treated like some amazing angel or queen. Meanwhile, I'm just seen as her attention-seeking, snarling, baby rabies witch. Sometimes I wonder, though, why I think she's so exhausting and horrid when no one else seems to, and everyone else thinks she's wonderful. And there are some comments.
I got to go camping soon.
That's your comment.
Yep.
She sounds really troublesome. Have you asked your significant other to talk to his mother and set some boundaries? Mother-in-law tends to listen to their kids. OP says she really is. I have before, and in the past, he would dodge it or make excuses, which is a problem. She's really good at doing her effery when he's not around. He's a smoker and goes outside for a smoke. Or when we would go to her place, usually other people are up there hanging out. Her home is the main place in our small town people gather at. So a lot of times he's outside socializing with the guys while I hang out with the kids, which I'm fine with. I tell him to do this for a break. But that's when mother-in-law acts up with her nonsense to me and the kids. A lot of times in the past, I think this was more disbelief than being a bad husband or whatever. But I would tell him what she did or said, and he would try to say, no, she didn't, or make excuses like she's just an excited grandma, or she's just trying to be helpful, or something dumb. And of course, I sounded crazy when I said it, but she isn't. She's doing it on purpose for whatever reason. Anyway, so his excuse would be that since he wasn't actually present for the effery, then it would be awkward and not make sense for him to randomly call her hours after we left or days later. Because honestly, it takes me days to weeks to tell him what his mother did because I'm so tired of telling him and having him make excuses for her or shrug it off like nothing. And in the meantime, I'm cranky and stressed because I have no one to talk about it. And then nothing ends up happening.
I will say, Opie sounds like she needs a group of girls.
Group girls.
Even
to
mother-in-law.
Complain about the mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law needs a group of girls. Opie needs a group of girls.
Everyone needs a group of girls.
Yep.
Get this girl a group.
You got a bridge night, something.
I think
don't care.
you just need, you and your husband need to get on the same page about like how you're parenting your children.
Yeah.
And you need to just say like, hey, she's kind of, overstepping whenever I'm trying to parent the kids, and then she says something else.
Yeah.
Like, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Recently, like a few months ago now, I lost it and told him everything and told him he needs to step up and stop being a pansy about his mother. Otherwise, he's going to lose his wife and kids. Dang.
For a pansy, bro.
And I told him to pick which one he wants more. He drove up to his mother's house and told her he's been a terrible husband and father by protecting his mother's feelings and wants over mine, and told her he'd be calling her out on her BS from now on, and that I will be telling him what she says and does when he isn't around because he knows she does it when he leaves the room, and that when I tell him, he will be contacting her to tell her to knock it off. Apparently she was good about it, But ever since then, she's been 10 million times worse with me and does it in front of everyone now, even my husband. Like she's challenging us.
What do you want? Huh? What do you want?
Being awful.
Get away.
He just wants baby.
Stop.
Dude, come on.
I mean, at least the husband's, doing something now.
Finally, dude. Gosh.
Anyway, he has stepped up more, not anything crazy, but he has started to tell her to knock it off. Tell her I'm the kid's mother, not her, and that I have things handled. He also stopped saying that I'm the one who doesn't want to go to something or blaming things on me, so he still looks good, and started saying, sorry, we have plans, and just using we like a team. Wow.
Okay.
Wow, he wasn't doing that before? He was like,
That's-
oh,
ugh.
sorry, OP doesn't want to do that.
Ugh.
Why are you? Wait,
Come
yeah,
on,
your husband
come
was
on.
really not doing a great job before. She did listen to him in the past, but now she just seems completely unhinged after he called her completely out about everything. It's exhausting. And comment 2, mostly it sounds like you did great. I would have liked to read more involvement from husband, but as you said, he has the excuse of being occupied. Where was he for the story time debate when she had a hold of your daughter? That one bothers me most. You also need to start teaching your daughter that it's okay to say no or let me go, even to grandma or any adult when they're doing something that makes them uncomfortable / they don't like. Consider a code word for you and your hubby. Like every time you're about to be near her, set up a phrase or word to indicate step up. Like mother-in-law has a death grip on a child trying to escape. Husband, did we bring bananas? Or whatever, and he knows that something is amiss and he needs to step up. Number 1, he may realize more and then catch on more without needing the codes. And 2, shutting down will mean more from him.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Makes him more aware.
Makes them more aware, seeing something. You're not blatantly like, hey, your mom's
Yeah,
misusing
your mom's
you.
freaking-
She's being weird.
Yeah, you're just like, bananas.
You're like, hey, husband, can you
Bananas.
pass me the green apples? Hey, husband, I need a pineapple. Can you go to the store and get some
Grapes.
And then you hit him with like a,
Yup, just like that.
yeah.
Just like that.
Opie, he really struggled with that one, I think, because his mother was so dang persistent and would not let up. She was just buzzing in everyone's ears, saying, Nana will read it. Nana will read it. So he told her to stop holding our daughter captive after I did. Like, he backed me up. But then he caved and offered her to read his story after I read mine. But I piped up loudly, said, no, honey, she loves when you read her a story every night. And he said, you're right, and started reading. He sounds like a robot. He's like, you are right. I will read now.
You are correct.
We do teach her that, and she's extremely good at enforcing her boundaries and telling people no, stop, that's not nice, and telling people to say sorry. Even telling people she's speaking and they need to be quiet. I think in that moment, the way mother-in-law abruptly and a bit aggressively said, don't go anywhere, kind of stunned my daughter. In a way I've honestly never really seen her stunned, and she just stayed put. I think she thought she was or would be in trouble. Any other time she would have loudly told her to let her go and spoken up for herself. But for some reason, this one time, she didn't. It concerns me because I've never seen her get so quiet and just stay put. The code word is a really good idea. Husband can tell, usually when I'm fighting his mother off, and he jumps in, but sometimes he's honestly just oblivious, so a code word would be helpful and simple enough. And there is a second update. Do you have any thoughts, Riley?
I'm going to go camping soon. But your
Any
husband
thoughts about the
does need
story?
to stand up.
Yeah, well, it seems like he is. You just don't think enough.
There was. Okay, I understand that sometimes when people don't see a wound, they need to prep it and then it will heal over time. I feel like it's going from the prep part of where is this wound? What do I need to do to fix it? And it is slowly getting to the healing part.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he needs to put more focus on what we need in order to heal this.
Yeah, we need a little bit more Neosporin.
Yes, we need more bandages. We need more, maybe even like a stent.
Maybe
something.
a stitch.
Exactly. I just
Mhm.
don't think he's
on the right track.
on the right track. But I'm gonna
I think
need
he
you
just
to
has to behave consistently, but I think he's on the right track.
yeah, just be more on the lookout. I think is what I'm looking at. Yeah.
Update 2.
Oh, there's more.
I ended up telling my husband about the things his mother did. At first, I was really reluctant, but he said I'd been acting differently since we got back from our camping trip last weekend. Although I've been normal, I've barely spoken and have been closed off, and he thought something really terrible happened. So first, I told him that I'm hesitant to tell him things about his mother. He said, this is about mom, right? because a lot of times I've shrugged it off, or he made excuses for her and such. He told me he really wants our relationship to work. You can read my previous posts. But basically, about 2 months ago, I told him I was very close to walking out. And he drove to his parents' house and told them he's been a crappy husband, yada, yada, yada. I decided to open up, and I told them about the constant interfering with my parenting and overstepping. I told them about her answering for me when I asked her a question and telling her it's okay, don't worry about it, when I just told her to say sorry to someone. I also told him that I did stand up for myself and tell his mother to back off, and I wasn't rude about it, yet she scoffed and dramatically walked away or ignored me and then repeatedly did what I asked her to stop doing all weekend long. I said that I discussed this with his mother 2 months ago after he told his parents he was done with their crap, and his mother told me, "Oh, just tell me when I do something you don't like and I won't do it."
I think we already have.
I think that's been said like 50 times, man.
Yeah.
So I said, what is the point in that when she acts worse after I tell her? She's like, let me know what I'm doing wrong so I can do it
Even worse.
so I can do it the most wrong.
Yeah, hey, you did something wrong there. That was bad. Take that out, editor.
So my options are to suck it up and resent her or tell her to stop. And she still does it, which just makes me resent her even more for her blatant disrespect. Husband listened to my entire rant like he said he would. Then he apologized to me multiple times, telling me he thought I'd handled it when I told her to back off. He heard me a few times. He was off doing things like cooking dinner or trying to fix our trailer that broke, things he couldn't walk away from. But he said he knows I was very respectful and she had no reason to react the way she did. He had no idea it was eating me up so much, and if he had known, he would have had my back. He acknowledged that his mom definitely does her BS when he's away or unable to step in. He said he will make more of an effort to stay nearby, and if he isn't, and I tell him about something upsetting, he will contact her immediately and tell her what she did was unacceptable. I told him I didn't tell him while out camping because I didn't want to ruin his time out there, and also didn't want to argue while camping. He said he appreciated that. However, next time he wants me to tell him immediately if I'm upset so he can support me and stand up for me. Overall, he was extremely genuine and caring. Hopefully, moving forward, he does have my back. He said he completely understands why I wouldn't really want to be around someone who acts that way, and that he will be speaking to her about her role as a grandmother and my role as the kid's mother. She needs to stop playing mom to our kids, especially stop undermining and disrespecting me as their mother. I also brought up how he uses the excuse that she's just an excited grandmother, which he said, yes, he did think that sometimes. I asked him, fair enough, but is that more important than my role as a mother? Good on you, OP. Are her memories and moments as a grandmother more important? He said, absolutely not. You're right. And also, this is going back to we had mentioned earlier, like people were saying like, oh, sometimes you could just let the grandmother, help out or whatever.
Yeah.
The title was that OP felt like she was missing out on being a mother. So I feel like at the root of this is OP's like, I'm missing out on these moments because she keeps trying to step in and like take them all from me.
Yeah.
Dang.
Or all of these moments are also coupled with OP trying to fend off her grandmother or fend off her mother-in-law, which is also frustrating.
She did say, I'm trying to read I don't know. It would be cool to read to your kid at a campfire a story and then being barraged. No, let me read. And it's like you can't be with your
have
kids.
that moment. Yeah.
You have to protect that, and you're having to fight for that. No mother should have to fight for that.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? You also don't have to fight for
What?
full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search a Poke Storytime. But there is a little bit left to the story. Do you have any final thoughts?
No, I
Not one?
have none.
No, I was going to have one, Riley.
Yeah, I have one thought.
One thought.
I'm gonna bring sister-in-law into this.
Get her involved.
1, does sister-in-law have kids? 2,
You know.
is she also getting the same treatment, or will she get the same treatment?
I don't think so.
Probably no, 100%. You know why? Because a mother-in-law is going to focus all of her attention to sister-in-law.
Well, I think right now I'm saying she doesn't get.
Yeah, because she doesn't have any kids or anything
No.
like
But
that.
when that does happen,
When she does have kids, yeah.
but like,
I
we
have
don't know
seen.
when that's going to happen.
Yeah, I have seen family dynamics where whenever it's like grandparents and they have like 4 kids, and whenever one of the kids have a youngin, they are now like the best kid, like best family because they have the
Yeah.
youngest child.
Yeah.
And then as soon as like another young child's around, they kind of like forget that, and then they're like, the new child, and it's
the new
like,
child's the best one.
what are you doing here?
Can't just replace these kids.
Yeah.
Where was I? Oh, Duchess Cassandra says, I hate that the husband is like, I thought you got this, so I didn't step in. Like, freaking support your wife. Yeah, he's like,
Right?
I thought you had it handled, so I thought I didn't need help.
Like I said earlier, the husband was like, don't want to deal with that.
What the frick? Riley just punted me in the face with this. I also told him that she had her time to be a mom, and now it is my time. It is a new age of mothers. She needs to respect that, or she will lose her grandmother privileges because I am done. He agreed that was fair. He agreed to keep his mother in her lane and finally acknowledged it's not my job to do so. He also acknowledged that he witnessed me attempting to and saw or heard her blatantly ignore me, so now he knows 100% that she acts that way.
I just hope the husband can walk away knowing how to support his wife, because it feels like the
You would
wife
hope so.
has like a shield. This is what the wife's doing.
Yeah.
Shield, sword, baby. She's
Yeah.
having to carry
She's
all
got
three.
everything, man.
And another baby. She has like 2 babies and doing this, and the husband's like,
It's exhausting. He's like, you got this. You're good. You're doing great. From the sidelines. He's like behind a door. He's like, you got this.
yeah.
But that is the end of that story. My family still loves my ex. It's making me crazy. You have to choose. For background, my ex, now male 25 and I, female 23, started dating at the end of my junior year in 2018 up until the end of 2022. So for about 4.5 years. The first year we were long distance because we obviously still lived with our parents, but he lived close to Chicago and I was about 3.5 hours away, closer to the Mississippi River. By the way, this comes from some internet chick 05, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. So in 2019, after I graduated, he had bought a house 20 minutes away from my hometown, so we moved in together. His parents and I got along pretty well. They were always kind to me and even helped us renovate our kitchen. About a year into living together, I couldn't sleep, so I wrote a cute love note in his notes app that he could find later on, as I did every now and then. After I was done, I noticed that he had the Reddit app and decided to scroll through that because I always saw random Reddit posts that I thought were funny and wanted to see how easy it was to use. He had gotten a notification about a message on the app, so I checked it for him. Yes, we had each other's passwords and we trusted each other, so I didn't think anything of it. That's when I discovered that he had been talking to another woman and flirting with them. I only got to 2 different message threads. There were more, but I couldn't look at them before I broke down crying and woke him up to confront him. He started crying and told me that it never happened again. I believed him and stayed. The next year went by fine until we started to renovate the 2 upstairs bedrooms and the staircase. His mom kept trying to tell us what we should do with it, and I kept telling her that we'll figure it out as we go. My family has a lot of contractors, so while I'm not a genius in renovations, I know more than what a typical 20-year-old at the time would know. One day when they were staying with us, something flipped in her. I can't think of anything I did to provoke her outbreak besides telling her that we weren't going to paint the closets, and I can't even really remember what all she said because I just couldn't believe how quickly her attitude towards me had changed. We argued back and forth about nothing really. She just finally aired out all of the problems she had with me that were previously unknown to me. She called me rude, disrespectful, and to end it all, she told me to F off. Now, I will admit I wasn't the nicest to her within the argument, but I had treated her like my own mother during my relationship to her son. After the stupidest argument of my life, I was sent into the biggest panic/anxiety attack I've ever had. I was crying uncontrollably, hyperventilating, and shaking. My ex had sat with me for maybe 5 minutes, then ran off to go comfort his mom. Eventually, he came back and told me to call my mom and have her take me to her house instead of standing up for me to his mom and asking her to leave. His bright idea was to take me out of my safe space, my home, and let his mom stay there instead. I was at my mom's for a couple of hours until he came to pick me up and take me home because she had finally left. That was the moment that I lost all respect for him and realized that he would never stand up for me in any situation. After that, his parents pretty much disowned him just because he was still with me. Whoa.
What?
The next year and a half was rough. We turned into roommates that slept together. During that last year, I took a nice long look back at our relationship and slowly realized I wasn't happy. We never went on date nights. He never wanted to go do anything. And whenever we did do something, I felt like he wasn't really present in the moments. He was just doing it so that I would shut up about it. Throughout our relationship, he he had the same after work routine. He'd come home, take the dog out to pee, or leave him in the dog run for a little bit, and then run for a little bit, shower, and then play his video games until it was bedtime. His headphones would be on, and he'd be in his own world for at least 5 to 6 hours playing games. I'd make supper 90% of the time, unless I wanted something on the grill. Only then would he cook. I even ended up doing my own social experiment with him because I realized I was the one initiating all physical contact except for spicy sleep. For 3 days, I didn't kiss him first, I didn't hug him first, and I didn't say I love you first. In those 3 excruciating long days, we hugged once, which was initiated by me, and only said I love you once, also initiated by me. He told me from the get-go that he wasn't a touchy-feely person, but that is one of my biggest love languages. I had to beg him pretty much to cuddle on the couch or come to bed to cuddle me to sleep. When it comes to opening up to people, I'm not the best at it and get emotional very quickly. So instead of sitting down and talking to him about it, I wrote him 3 different letters, 3 different times. I explained what he was doing and how it made me feel and how he could make it better. I had even asked him if there's things I needed to work on, and he would always say that he couldn't think of anything. All 3 letters went in one ear and out the other. Nothing would change. After the second letter, I threatened to leave and move back in with my mom, but he said that he'd change, and he did for maybe a week or 2. In October of 2022, he proposed to me, in front of my family and the photographer that was taking our family pictures, which I was later told was just a ploy for engagement pictures. I said yes because I thought maybe he's finally got it. While trying to plan the wedding, I had asked for his input on literally anything, and I'd always be met with, yeah, sure, it's whatever you want. I felt like he didn't care about our special day and wasn't taking it seriously. I felt like this was just a shut up ring, so I'd stop dropping hints and he wouldn't have to hear about it anymore. Finally, I got tired of my letters not being taken seriously and feeling like his mother/roommate. So I moved back in with my mom in November of 2022. I will admit, how we broke up is kind of effed up. I had tried to break up with him 3 different times, and each time he'd convince me to stay and think about it. I did because it hurt me to see him hurt. While I still lived with him, there was a guy at my work who was leaving me not so subtle hints that he wanted me. At this point, I had given him the ring back, even though it was my mom's engagement ring. And yes, my parents are divorced, so she hadn't worn it in 10 plus years. And I told him I was done with the relationship, but I still lived with it. So at this time, I slept with my coworker. So in my ex's head, I cheated, but I'm still on the fence about it because I can see how it would look to him since I still lived with him. Pretty crappy, I know, and I've beat myself up about it for so long. I do wish I waited until I was moved out to start seeing my coworker, so there was no doubt in his mind that I was done and wouldn't have hurt him so bad. The 6 months after our breakup were pretty lonely for me. Going to sleep on an air mattress in my sister's old room because my mom turned my old room into my niece's toy room. Sleeping by myself after 3 years of having someone else in bed with me. The hookups I went to just to feel wanted by someone, even if it was just for an hour. Thankfully, I decided I was tired of the hookups and wanted something more serious and found my current boyfriend on Bumble. He's such a sweet, caring, lovable goofball that doesn't mind my ADHD/autism quirks and actually enjoys being around me. We clicked instantly and he said, I love you after 2 weeks.
That is, wow.
Now, the reoccurring issue I have is my family on my mom's side. They still love my ex. He's still in all family group chats, Facebook groups, and is still invited to all the family get-togethers. It makes me and my boyfriend so uncomfortable and awkward. My siblings and their significant others all agree with me that he shouldn't still be hanging around almost a year and a half later. My mom had told me the first time I came to her crying about me wanting to leave him, but not knowing what to do, he'll always be my son. And she has stayed true to that and even threw him a birthday party the same time as my brothers because their birthdays are close together at my grandparents' house. She still calls him Uncle X's name when talking about him with my nieces. Oh my gosh.
No.
That sucks.
No, he's
That
gone,
really sucks.
girl. Get over him.
Yeah, you gotta be, that's disrespectful to your,
So disrespectful.
your child.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who's
man.
actively dating someone new.
Yeah, exactly.
Weird.
Like, disrespectful to the new boyfriend, too. My brother finally got fed up with another family situation and brought up the situation with my ex still coming around. My mom had told him if my granny, who had passed away long before I was even born, would roll over in her grave if she knew that I punted him out when his family disowned him because of OP. Of course, everything is always my fault, even though I didn't do anything but tell his mom that we weren't going to paint the closets. She is dead set that he is her son, even though he's my ex. But if my grandma had done the same thing with both of my uncle's ex-wives, he'd throw the biggest hissy fit you'd ever see a grown man throw. Or even if she did it with my dad.
I just don't understand why it's only my ex that gets to keep getting the family treatment. Unfortunately, after we broke up, my ex and my uncle became best friends and will also stand up for him no matter what.
Oh my goodness.
My best friend that I have had since 5th grade got sick of him coming around and lost it when I told her that he had brought his new girlfriend to my grandpa's birthday party. She is in the same boat as me with not knowing why they've kept him around. She texted him a long rant and aired out everything that she had wanted to say since we broke up. Nothing that she said was particularly nasty, mainly just pointing out that it's weird how he's still hanging around and how crappy it is to bring your new girlfriend to your ex's grandpa's party. The kicker is that he couldn't even stand up for himself. He was either with my uncle or screenshotted the text and sent it to him to read, and my uncle came to his defense. I will add that he, my ex, hadn't had her number saved since he had blocked her on all social media around the time of the first letter I gave him because he thought that she was behind a lot of why I wanted to leave, which is not true at all. Sooner or later, he or my uncle told my mom about it, so she sent out a message in a newly created group chat with me, my siblings, and their lovers about she didn't know his new girl was going to be there. As far as everyone is concerned, he's just as much a part of the family as anyone else, and whoever is texting him the long rant can stop. I haven't yet, but I know I need to sit my mom down and explain exactly how I feel about this whole situation. I had written and printed out a letter for her explaining that I was just going to be done with that side of the family since they wanted to keep him around so bad, and after my sister's wedding, I would no longer be a part of the family. But my boyfriend asked me if he could give me his thoughts and opinions on the letter. Of course, I said yes, because while it mainly affects me, it does still affect him in a small way. He basically told me I need to sit down with my mom and give her the ultimatum of me or him before I just leave, because in a few years, if I didn't do everything that I could to try and change her mind or see it from my point of view, I might regret it. But if I at least try to talk to her and it boils down to me stepping away from the family, I'll know I've done everything that I could before turning to my nuclear option. I agreed with him because I had had a similar thought after rereading my letter. I told my siblings about the letter and let them read it. They all agreed that it's well written, and while they don't want to see it happen, they don't want me to be miserable and uncomfortable at all of the future family functions. My sister and her future wife didn't invite my ex to their wedding out of respect for me, since I don't think that they'd want one of the maids of honor to be uncomfortable during their wedding. They just want love and good vibes all day. My brother feels like he's being replaced by my ex since he and my mom do more together than my mom and my brother. My boyfriend feels like my family hasn't even given him a chance since my ex is still around, and no one really talks to either of us at family gatherings. As of me writing this, we've been together for almost a year now. My mom even makes a family calendar every year for everyone for Christmas and left out my boyfriend's birthday, but still kept my ex's and still adds his pictures. She even put him on her 2023 Christmas cards. I'm honestly terrified to talk to her about everything because she has shown me time and time again that she wants him there with no end in sight, and I'm scared that if I give her the ultimatum, she'll choose my ex. Maybe not by directly saying I choose him, but more of like a I can't do that to him. And I know that she won't because she is stubborn. And I would have no choice but to choose my own mental health and well-being and have to leave the biggest support system I have because they care more about my ex than me and my feelings. I'm at a standstill right now with talking to my mom because I'm just so nervous, and I know I'm either going to get frustrated and furious with her, or I'm just going to break down and cry my eyes out while trying to have a discussion with her. By the way, you don't have to break down or cry because we have more full episodes of stories just like this one on
That's the
iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. This has been going on for almost 2 years, and if I don't talk to her soon, I'm going to go crazy. Thankfully, my boyfriend and I live about an hour away from our hometown, so I don't have to worry about randomly running into my ex. I'm not necessarily looking for sympathy because I know I effed up too. I just want to feel heard and maybe given some advice on how to better approach my mom when I finally grow a pair, bite the bullet, and talk to her. I don't know if it would be better to do it one-on-one or have my siblings there with me just for support and maybe add their feelings about the whole situation. I don't want my mom to think that we are attacking her, but seeing how this has affected my brother, I think he also needs to be heard because his thoughts and feelings are just as important. Yeah, I feel like having the siblings there would be good because then you're not alone, and hopefully they can, counter something that your mom says that you might not have words for in the moment.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you just want like someone who like knows your mom,
Yeah.
is supportive of you.
Yeah, and especially like she said, the brother is clearly having problems with it too.
Yeah.
So like, other people, need
You're
this
not
discussion.
alone. Yeah.
But hopefully they can go about it in like a calm way that doesn't just blow up in a
Hopefully.
family fight.
My friend revealed a secret in front of my fiance. I was humiliated.
Humiliation.
I will do my best to keep this to as few words as possible. I have a small group of people I consider my best friends that I've known all my life. I'll use fake names for them. Beth, Stack, and Gwen. The three of them, only Gwen, is married and or in a relationship. And by the way, this comes from Throwaway Big Girl Problem. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm a big girl, 5'3" and 260 pounds. I've always had an issue with my weight and had self-esteem issues. I was always told, you have such a beautiful face, and if you were smaller, I'd date you.
Oh, my Lord.
I've been in a few relationships where it was obvious that my boyfriends at the time were ashamed to be seen with me. They would never hold my hand in public and never post pictures of us together on Instagram or Facebook. My luck on dating apps consisted of being ghosted or just being wanted for the spicy tango. And I'm just embarrassed to say that I allowed myself to be used by some of those guys. Eventually, I stopped responding to most messages. 3 years ago, I met my fiance, Kyle, at one of my nephew's soccer games. Kyle was a coach and approached me afterwards. He asked me if I was ever going to reply to his message. I was confused. And he said he messaged me a week prior and answered a question that I had on my POF profile. That's when I remembered his message, and I got embarrassed. I told him that I had been busy, and he asked me if I had any plans later that night. My sister and nephew both liked him and had told me as much. I agreed and exchanged numbers with him, even though I felt like he was out of my league. Kyle was average size and in shape. To this day, I didn't know why he didn't walk out on me on that date. I got it into my head that he was only after the spicy tango and might have some big girl fatouche. We met
Oh my god.
Yes, we're keeping that one.
Fatouche infinitely better. We're keeping Fatouche.
Oh man, we met up for an early dinner at a casual Mexican restaurant, and within 5 minutes, I asked him, "Are you just looking for a hookup because you have a thing for fat chicks?" He shook his head, and he told me he was interested because of things I listed on my profile. How I like soccer, my favorite wine, TV shows, and that my photos I posted showed that I like to travel. He led most of the conversation and tried to get me to open up and ask questions. He would gently touch my hand from time to time and tried flirting. Somehow, he asked me to see me again.
Okay.
Man.
I mean, you know, okay.
And the second date went a lot better. I found out that he was a widower that lost his wife and 2-month-old son in a car crash a decade before. He tried dating on and off for a few years, but nothing serious came of it. He worked in the field I got my degree in, but had no luck getting hired. Within 3 months, we were officially boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh. My friends and family were thrilled, and his family welcomed me in. Even his former in-laws he considered family, all except Beth. Beth, when I told her, kept asking me if I was sure about him. She asked if he wasn't just using me for spicy sleep, which had yet to happen. Then it was, well, he probably doesn't want to have spicy sleep with you. When I mentioned that he holds my hand in public and would pull me a bit closer to him when we would go out for drinks when guys would talk towards us suddenly, he was controlling.
Come on, Beth. Just enjoy that your girl's getting a W. Why are you trying to bring her down?
Or maybe she wants her girl's W.
Oh, very possible.
Eventually, Kyle met my 3 best friends, and they all liked him immediately, and Beth said he was a keeper. He helped me get hired to another company in my field starting at $70K plus benefits after I politely declined an opportunity to work alongside him. I can say all this since Kyle has came into my life. He has shown me nothing but love, affection, grace, and kindness. He's also helped me start to get past my insecurities. I was over 300 pounds when I met him. Now I'm at 260. My initial fears of some fatouche of his are gone. And he has been there in every way I could ever want. A few days ago, we hosted a dinner with Beth, Stace, and Gwen, and her husband. Kyle and Gwen's husband, Mike, had become friends, and they did all the cooking and cleanup. Everything was going good, and we were all relaxing on the back porch drinking some wiener tails when Beth asked me in front of everyone, "Why do you tolerate that picture of Kyle with his wife and son?"
Uh,
What a absolutely wonderful lady. What a great friend to have.
I was absolutely mortified. Kyle looked upset, but he was keeping his composure. I explained that this was the only picture he had of the three of them together, and that I would never ask him to hide it because that was his wife and son, that he loved them, and I know that Kyle loves me, and that she was being rude and needed to call an Uber to leave. She absolutely had too much to drink and didn't seem like she wanted to leave. When she absolutely embarrassed me when she brought up a humiliation I had endured with an ex during the lowest point of my life that I hadn't told Kyle about. I bet keeping the picture up was his idea and you went along with it, like when Jeff made you wear a pig mask and oink while he was intimate with you. Dude.
Oh, if I'm OP, like, I'm about to get dastardly.
Yeah, dude.
But like,
that's wild. What?
It's not like the best thing to do. Like,
dude, I'm voting this person as the worst person ever.
Yeah, get Beth. You got to get Beth out of here. Beth is completely out of your life now, dude.
Wow.
You know
what? Why are we bringing her down so much? Beth? What is this? What is happening?
Beth is just. Beth probably saw herself in the order of the friend circle was probably above OP, and now that OP has found a partner that is really into her. She's feeling threatened, so she's doing literally anything she can to try to knock her down a peg so that she's not at the bottom of the social totem pole, which is just a terrible way to move through life.
This is insanity. Kyle absolutely exploded on her and yelled that she get the F out of our house. Mike and Gwen had to drag on a crying Beth out with Stace following them. When they left, I started bawling and looked at Kyle, and he started to repeat that I was sorry, and if he didn't want me anymore, I understood. All my insecurities that I'd worked so hard to overcome came flooding back. He hugged me and kissed me at the top of my head. He told me what I did before him doesn't bother him. It was Beth's humiliation that pissed him off. He told me that it was up to me if I remained friends with her, but he doesn't want to be around Beth anymore. He cleaned up the patio and held me as I fell asleep crying. Today I texted Beth that we needed to talk. We met up for brunch, and she was very embarrassed about her behavior. But I told her I don't think I can be her friend anymore. She started to blame Kyle for our friendship ending and said he was effed in the head for making you look at his passed away wife and kid. Don't throw away our friendship for him.
Nah.
Dude, you know what the funny thing was? Like, you know what Kyle did? You know what Kyle did in all of this? Who's this? Give me your hand. He was just doing this. Just loving on OP. You know what Beth did?
No.
She got a hot skillet. That's what Beth did. And whose fault was that for getting that mark on her hand?
Mine.
Kyle's. It was Kyle's fault.
It was my fault.
That's what Beth said. That's Kyle's fault that you have that mark on your hand. That's crazy.
Yeah, she's.
How do people think? How do people get along in life and think this way?
I think it's because of the social politics, dude. She's like, she can't get a boyfriend because like she saying all this stuff about like, oh, well, he thinks you're like he's not attracted to you, or he's like he doesn't like how big you are. It's like she's just projecting these thoughts that she has probably in her head, where it's like, why does she have a boyfriend? She looks worse than me. Why does she have a boyfriend? She's heavier than me. Like what? Whatever. Like, so she just can't tolerate it because now she's the quote unquote loser in the friend group. Which, if you're ever thinking of that, it's like reassess yourself.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure. For sure.
Friends can all get along. Why are we ranking ourselves?
I got up, paid for my food, and left. Gwen and Stace don't want to be in the middle, but agree that Beth was in the wrong, and that they are happy that I found the love of my life, and hope one day things will return back to normal. I told them I won't be upset if they hang up with Beth, but I don't want to be included if she is with them, and they're fine with that. Beth was my first friend, and someone I always looked up to. She held me as I cried when my first boyfriend left me a week after I lost my V card to him because he was dared to date me and to sleep with me. I dare you to fall asleep with us. All you gotta do is go to your freaking favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime, and catch some Z's listening to crazy stories with Ussies.
He double dog dares you.
Wow.
You're gonna just sit there and not answer the call.
Are you just gonna let it happen? Let's get down to the real deal here. Now I'm wavering about wanting to give her another chance. We have so much history and amazing memories. Kyle said he would support me either way, but he was a hard no on being around Beth outside of our wedding if I wanted her there. I'm so torn on what to do because she was wasted, but still said those words, and they cut me to the core. Should I forgive her or cut her out of my life? Comment 1. This is one of the most crappiest things I've ever read. Someone who dared call themselves your friend. She's bitter, insecure, and a jealous person. Yes, jealous. Only jealousy can make someone do that many things to put someone down. I'm very sorry for your previous experience with ex-boyfriend. If someone did that to my friend, I'd be covering his house in toilet paper and put his phone number on Notice Watch as a judge for best Chewbacca voice competition. That's what friends are for. And they always support you and protect you. I'm glad she finally showed you who she is. I bet dollars to donuts she played a significant part in keeping you as insecure as possible and fed you poisoning thoughts about your own worth. Let the trash remove itself from your life. We got an update.
Oh boy. Yeah, I agree with all that. It's time. Like that person is not your friend.
Yep,
you know?
not your friend. I just got a text from Gwen who told me that she and Mike have cut Beth out of their lives. Mike was furious at Beth and got pissed at Gwen for wanting to keep her as a friend. Gwen apologized for even considering Beth as a friend. So Beth is gone.
Beth has been exiled from the entire friend group. Absolute cinema.
Goodbye, Beth. Wow, dude. Well, like they said, the trash takes itself out.
10 out of 10, 5 out of 5.
I refuse to defend my brother-in-law, even though we both missed our child's birth.
Hey, same boat, different paddles.
So my wife, 31 female, and I, 29 male, have 2 kids. Our older son and younger daughter. My brother-in-law, Josh, 26 male, has just had a baby girl with his partner, Brad. By the way, this comes from Am I the A-hole Missed Birth? And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. On the day my daughter was born 2 years ago, I was with my other brother-in-law, Dan, also 29 male, when he was hit by a car. Understandably, he was in a bad shape, and I called an ambulance, and his parents told me my wife was in labor. My wife told me over the phone to go with Dan to the hospital and that she'd be fine. She was more worried for Dan than anyone. We were both at different hospitals, my wife at the local hospital, and Dan and I at a bigger city hospital. And it culminated in me missing my daughter being born while I stayed with Dan, so he wasn't alone and I could keep everyone updated. Dan ended up making a full recovery with some physio, and my daughter was born with no complications. And I met her when she was a few hours old. Now, Josh and Brad had a baby due in late August, but Josh had a vacation with his friends booked for July. Note, it was a vacation within the country and within the vid restrictions. Brad asked him not to go so close to the baby being born, and I also advised him not to go. But he chose to anyway, as he thought he had enough time. Evidently, he did not. Brad went into labor while he was gone, and his daughter was born without him there. Like my case, it was a few hours before he could get back to meet her. The entire family is fuming at him because we all told him not to go on the vacation. He asked for my support because he thought I would understand, and told him it's a completely different scenario and that I had no choice. And more importantly, my wife's permission. Apparently, he and his friends all believe that we, but more specifically me, because I should get it, are a-holes because it wasn't his choice to miss the birth because she was born preemie. I think he's the a-hole because there is a huge difference between the reasons I couldn't be there versus his reasons. I seriously don't get his logic. So I'm asking you guys for some more perspective. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I didn't put this in the post to avoid any off-topic questions or transphobes, but Josh's partner is trans man, not a wife, girlfriend, lady. I keep getting asked this. So baby was 5 to 6 weeks early. Edit 3. Wow, this made it to Twitter. I'm amazed. My wife has 2 brothers called Dan and Josh. They are brothers, not in a relationship. Josh's partner is unnamed because, as I said, I tried to avoid gender. Edit 4, last edit. I promise I've gone back and named Josh's partner Brad to hopefully clear things up. And there are some comments. Not the a-hole. He clearly didn't have his priorities straight. If he chooses to go on a vacation when his pregnant partner is asking him not to, he is already an a-hole. He is just trying to use you as a shield. OP! His logic was that the vacation was booked pre-baby. So he should still go, which seems stupid to me. Oh, and I don't want to nitpick, but Josh's partner is a trans man. I just didn't gender him in the post because I didn't want to attract off-topic questions. Commenter 2, info. How long was he supposed to be away for? And what day of him being gone did the partner go into labor? OP says, I think it was a week-long trip. He left on Sunday morning, and his partner was in labor by Thursday night/Friday morning. Commenter 3 says, not the a-hole, especially because his partner is trans. I am cis, but as far as I understand, childbirth for a trans man can be incredibly stressful and dysphoric, not to mention everything else that can go wrong. OP says, yeah, his partner was really worried about how his previous HRT would affect the pregnancy and baby, and his dysphoria was pretty bad. The doctor said that the HRT shouldn't affect it, but you know how pregnant people are for worrying about stuff like that. Commenter 4 says he chose to go on a vacation knowing the risks, so he did choose to miss the birth of his child. I'm so sorry his partner had to go through this alone. I hope he had family there to support him. Obi says he did, rest assured. My wife and I, her parents and his parents too. I'd almost forgotten what it felt like to have your fingers crushed by someone in labor too. OP clarifies on if Dan is his wife's brother and how she told him to be with Dan at the time of the accident. Opie says, yeah, Dan is her brother. She wanted me to stay with him because there was a decent possibility we could have lost him. And she wanted someone to be with him just in case. Just a little different to going on a lad's holiday, in my opinion. How did Brad feel about Josh going on holiday? Opie says, pissed off and upset with Josh. He was really upset when he realized Josh couldn't come back in time. Commenter 5 says, there are so many increased risks for complications in trans male births. I'm surprised the OBGYN didn't bash your brother-in-law over the head. Anytime after month 7, his butt should have stayed at home. Where did he go that was so dang important? OP says, lad's trip to Scotland. You know, something clearly more important than his pregnant partner. I'm not sure on the vid restrictions in Scotland, honestly. Update says, well, I wasn't expecting the response on my last post. I thought some of you might like an update, and a couple of people on Twitter requested it. It's a happy ending. Woo! You'll be glad to hear. I did send Josh this post, and he admitted that he effed up. Brad has reported to me that Josh has well and truly repented. Their baby girl is now 4 weeks old, and Josh has been on night duty since she was a week old. He apologized to Brad for not being there for him, and to me for dragging me into it. Both of us forgave him, and it seems everything will be okay. Their daughter is a happy, healthy little girl, and a very vocal one at that. She's apparently a big fan of yelling at her dads and not sleeping, so Josh is certainly receiving his karma. Unfortunately, she's yet to meet her cousins and most of the family thanks to the vid, but we received plenty of video calls and photos. By the way, you can receive full episodes straight to your ears if you go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
That's right.
There is a little bit left to this story, but do you have any final thoughts?
They made a choice, forgive and forget.
Forgive
Or
and
I guess
forget,
not
yeah.
forget, forgive and be like, hey, remember when you did that thing? You're on night duty again.
You are on night duty, let me tell you,
You know,
brother.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a complete breakup situation,
No,
but
no,
it
no.
certainly is like a
Big old conversation.
don't ever do nothing like that to me ever again.
Absolutely. I mean,
That's like a one strike.
yeah. I mean, truly just, I don't know how you think that that's okay. It's just truly a lack of thought, or is this just, oh, I don't care? That's what I would be wondering.
I think we would truly need more like
Yeah.
info on
Yeah.
like their, because we didn't really get into too much of like how they actually are or like their personalities or anything. It
yeah,
was more
and
just,
maybe
like,
this is
what
the only
happened.
thing that has ever happened that's been, bad.
Maybe there was some other reason why it
Yeah,
had
maybe
to
he
happen.
got scared. He was like, I'm about to become a dad. I gotta go on the lads trip.
Or,
One
like,
one
maybe-
last time.
Someone on the lads trip were they maybe sick or something,
They were like, lad,
and like
you've
they don't
gotta
want anyone to
fill-
know
you've gotta
or
fill the
something.
spot. The lads trip can't be complete without all 6 of us.
So this is an entire hypothetical, but like
Yeah.
just imagine like you're on this lads trip, Scotland. One of them has cancer, doesn't want to tell anybody. Now you're in a
Okay.
hard rock and a hard place because you
Yeah.
can't. You're like, well, I either betray the trust of the friend who doesn't want anyone to know about his diagnosis,
Yeah.
or I betray my partner who's
Yeah.
giving birth. But maybe I can make it back for both. I can do both. This is like an entire hypothetical I have
Yeah.
just cooked up in my brain, but it's like
Maybe-
why the world isn't black and white. There's almost everything in the world is in a gray zone.
But folks, there's a little bit left to this story. Brad also saw the post and thanked everyone for their congratulations and support. He's recovering well at home, and he's almost ready to start binding again, as well as slowly returning to taking HRT. I'm sure some of you will be disappointed to hear that Josh has been forgiven, but that's just the way it goes. My niece will grow up in a happy family with 2 dads who love her and hopefully Josh will never be so dumb again. Relevant comments, OP says, clarifying on the meanings of binding and HRT. Binding is the practice of flattening down the front airbags with a special type of vest to make them appear non-existent. HRT, hormone replacement therapy, is injecting oneself with testosterone for trans men to give them more masculine features, or estrogen for trans women to give them more feminine features. Hope this helps. OP on his new niece's health progress after her premature birth during the pandemic. OP says she was able to go home after 1.5 weeks due to the vid infection risks in the NICU ward, as she was able to support her own breathing. I'm obviously not a doctor, but they made the call to send her home so she wasn't at risk of exposure. It's probably not normal protocol, but these are not normal times, my friend. I'm honestly not sure if it was the NICU, as I've never had to experience a preemie baby myself. Both of mine were full term, and I did mention many times in my last post that she's a fat little thing. My wife's family does have a history of heavy babies. Again, I'm just the uncle, so I don't know every single in and out of her case. All I know specifically is that I was told she was sent home after 1.5 weeks to prevent the risk of catching the vid, and they were told to isolate. What did OP do to get Josh to take his responsibility and make it right with Brad? OP says it was actually my suggestion for him to volunteer for night duty as a means of an apology. Nice, OP. I'll never understand fathers who don't share their parental responsibilities equally. Why have children if you don't want to care for them? By the way, thank you so much for the award. I'm grateful. OP on his history with his wife's family and how healthy their relationships are. OP says, I do love that about my wife's family. I've been a de facto member since I was 11 when I met Dan, her brother, and started dating my wife at 13. So I still really respect the amount of accountability and conflict resolution they go through as a family unit. We claim responsibility for our idiots, and we love them. Opie says her parents are now at the point where they say they have 5 kids. Their actual children, my wife, Dan and Josh, and then me and Brad. Most of my friends think it's odd that my core friendship circle consists of my wife, her 2 brothers, and 1 brother's partner, but it really just makes spending Christmas together really freaking easy. And sometimes you just find the people you like, man, and sometimes it's your wife's brothers.
Yeah, what's that? Who's got problems with that?
Who's
What
got
are we
a problem
talking
with that?
about?
Jealous. OP shared a surprise. OP says, oh, there's no doubt about it. If you can keep a secret, and because I'm absolutely passing away to tell someone, my wife is actually 2 months pregnant with baby number 3.
Oh boy!
Tell
baby
Dan
number
to
3.
stay out of the car. I can already sense how close they'll be with D. Editor's note, Josh and Brad's baby. That's so sweet, man.
My wife belittles me in public, but is the total opposite in private.
That's called
Step on me, mommy.
Well, maybe humiliate is too strong a word. Tell Riley that. More like condescends to me. So my wife, let's call her Victoria, is tall, beautiful, and well-educated. Her degree is in social science. She's a writer. Her writings are mostly critical treatises. I probably pronounced that wrong. But as of yet, she has not published anything. She is a volunteer buddhist. What does that mean?
What? Let me look that
assistant.
Okay, can you text that to Nina? Can you text that to Nina, please? Thank you. She is a volunteer assistant at a yoga meditation group once or twice a month. By the way, this comes from Laban Home Oliver. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I have a master's degree in history and teach that subject at a community college. I also work at the same yoga studio at which Victoria volunteers, but as a full-time teacher, I teach hot yoga and yoga with weights. Don't sign Sophia up.
I will get heat stroke.
She will pass out. We met at community college I teach at 3 years ago. She was taking a writing workshop, and I happened to be friends with the instructor and met Victoria in class. 5 months later, we were engaged.
What?
Wow.
That's quick.
This is super quick. At that time, Victoria supported herself as a substitute teacher and a sales associate at a department store. Now that she's married to me, she doesn't work. We rely completely on my salary as a college teacher primarily, and as a secondary source, my salary as a yoga teacher. I consider my marriage to Victoria to be generally happy. However, she kind of is disrespectful to me. I think we're about to open a can of worms.
I think she's got a degradation kink.
Ooh.
Yep. Yes. Remember in the first few moments of Four Christmases, that movie, Four Christmases?
What's that?
Anyways, it's a couple role playing. It's very early, not spoiling anything. And this one's like, yeah, says really mean things, and the guy snaps back.
Shut up, witch!
And then she's like, and then they go home together.
Uh-oh. And then you're like, oh, that's their thing.
Yeah. So you might have to just do that.
Yeah, maybe it's their thing.
Maybe. We're about to find out. In private, she's great. Our spicy sleep life is completely normal and frequent. She'll laugh, joke, and be conversational with me. We'll just be a normal, happy married couple. Outside our home, though. Outside, she seems to be a completely different person. When we're out with friends, she'll often make it a point to say, I'm not a real college professor if it comes up in conversation.
She's like, he's not a real doctor.
Dude. Come on. And his salary is what they're basing both of their livelihood off of, too.
Ooh, not cool, girl. Not
Dude,
cool.
come on. Because my job is at a community college and not a 4-year university. Or if I tell people I'm a yoga teacher, she'll make sure to say something like, he chose wearing tights over a PhD.
I hate that. Why?
What are we doing here? This is...
She's a bully.
That's
yeah.
so mean.
She is, though. Meanwhile, she knows perfectly well I can't afford to go back to school right now to finish my doctorates because I'm working to support both of us and she doesn't earn any money at all.
Girl.
Come
Girl.
on, man.
And you know Opie's a good guy because you know he could just throw this in her face. Well, maybe I'd go back to school to work at a real school if you would actually pay for something.
There's like playful ribbing that's okay
Yes,
between like
yes.
friends or partners or stuff where it's just like, oh, like, no, you did that or blah, blah, blah. This is just bullying. This is just mean. And it's obviously affecting you. So definitely like call her out on that.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, could you never say that word again?
Ribbing?
Please.
That's what it's called.
I don't like it. I don't.
Teasing?
Sure.
Playful banter.
Banta? It's called banta.
Anywho. So, Opie says, it's also kind of hurtful because I know if I said something like, you shouldn't call yourself a professional writer if no one ever wanted to buy your articles, and also pointed out that I myself have been published numerous times in a minor sense, she would probably get really hurt. Hence, why I would never say that to her.
Yeah, if you're even thinking that, you need to have a conversation ASAP with her and say, hey, you're hurting my feelings.
Yes, this is...
Bring it up.
This is not good. Victoria also identifies as a feminist in public and says that she and other women are oppressed and being held down by men. I don't remember ever trying to hold her back from doing what she wants. In fact, I encouraged her to write articles and always buy her whatever materials and postage she asked in order to try and get herself published.
Well, she's probably not talking about you.
Yeah, you're conflating things that
she's
are...
like, oh, she's always says she's oppressed by men, but it's not all men. It's like, okay, she's not talking about you, my guy.
One of these things don't gotta be about the other, my boy. But she'll also ironically say a bunch of sexist stuff when we're out in public with other people, often saying I have no sense of direction since I'm a man, that all I do is think with my wiener, and that I'm messy, that I love to eat, and she'll pat my stomach as if I'm fat.
The thing is, like, I think she's just being mean to you, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
like could have something to do with sexism, but I feel like it's just like she's being mean to you. That at the end of the day, that's what the problem here. And that's not
agree.
okay.
Yes, 100%. My abs are ripped, by the way.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
bullying you. She wants to like make you insecure.
Yeah, which is, dude, so completely... Talk to me.
Theory, because she has no money, like she's not bringing any of the money in, like she doesn't have a job or anything, she feels less like bad about herself, and so she's trying to bring OP down. It's like classic mean girl, like, oh, I'm insecure, so I'm gonna make other people insecure.
Right. I think you're right, but it's just, God, it's sad.
It is sad.
Um,
It's not okay.
But if I said something even remotely sexist, like she loves shoes or some crap like that, she wouldn't like it.
Does she
Again,
like does she like shoes?
One of these things is not like the other.
OP
my guy.
keeps using the word sexist, and I don't think it means what he think it means. She's bullying you, and I think she just likes shoes. If you're saying she likes shoes, maybe she just likes shoes.
I told her she likes shoes.
Or maybe I thought it was, he said, oh, you like shoes. And she was like, stop being sexist.
Like if I said,
You like washing the dishes.
Riley likes, okay, well, I don't like washing the dishes. Hold on a minute.
You like do it all the time.
Hold on
though.
a minute. For example, not sexist. Me saying, oh, Riley likes cutting wood, chopping wood. Like that's just true. Sexist, Riley calling me a dishwasher.
There we go.
Wait. Wait, I thought you were going to call me something sexist.
No. I was showing 2 examples.
No. You got to... that doesn't make any sense.
Okay,
'cause-
fine. Something sexist. Riley should pay for everyone's meals.
All right. There you go. Take it. There.
Gotta love it. Examples have been examped. It seems like I'm more considerate of her feelings than she is of mine. Once we're back at our own home, she's nice to me, telling me how much she loves to cook for me and how great I am and how she's my woman and how she loves it when I get a little rough with her. And so I oblige in an affectionate sense. When I try to talk to her about the hurtful things she says, she'll act like she has no idea what I'm talking about or accuse me of just being sensitive and quickly change the subject, or else she'll just start coming on to me. We'll have spicy sleep, and of course, I will be distracted. I don't know. We can
Wait, when OP's trying to have a conversation with her?
Yeah, so basically, when he brings it up, sometimes she'll divert some way. One of the ways is if he's bringing it up, she just starts coming on to him. And
My
then,
God, you gotta like hold on, you know?
Yeah, just Lord,
Like stay strong.
Stay strong,
Be like,
brother.
Whoa, stop. Let's have a conversation.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. All right. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Okay, that's what you got to do. I don't know. We completely depend on my job to put food on the table and a roof over our heads. I don't think that these are things to joke about or belittle. It kind of hurts my self-esteem. Yeah, like I'm not doing enough with my life. What can I do to help Victoria realize how mean she's behaving, how her attitude just isn't right when it comes to the things she's saying? And we have an update. Well, let's answer OP's question. Sophia, how can OP tell his wife, hey, these things hurt me?
Well, first off, you have the conversation. And when she tries to sidetrack you, you go, stop. Sit over there. But try and do it in a not sexy way. And so she sits over there, and then you say, hey.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
It's like, wait,
tough.
geez.
And you say, hey, the comments that you've been making about my job and about me have really hurt my feelings, and I don't appreciate them.
Bingo.
Bingo, bango.
Dingaspot, who is the bully or person being mean?
The first answer was the characters in the story are named Victoria and OP. Second one, in this story, the character Victoria is portrayed as the bully or the person being disrespectful and mean towards her husband. And that's OP.
Dingus is dingusing.
We're getting there, boys and girls, but we're also getting into this next update. So, first of all, I can't thank all of you enough for your encouraging, helpful advice. I also got so many private messages that were extremely helpful in showing me that I really do need to stand up for myself. The original post is below this update. I decided this morning, it's a new day, Independence Day. So why not start now? Is OP about to become a lot more independent?
Ooh.
Wink, wink, hint, hint. I see you. So, in answer of some of the questions I got asked at least a dozen times, yes, she is hot.
Yes, she's hot. It's not relevant, okay?
Redonkulously hot. She's 5'11", with a body like Giselle Bundchen, but with a nicer face. Riley, can you
Who
look
is
that up?
And also, that seems kind of insulting to Giselle.
Oh, true. Yeah, OP keeps throwing strays.
Yeah.
There's
She
like,
does have a nice face. That's the shocking thing.
what? Let's see it.
Well, I would say but an even nicer face, like that, but a nice
Well,
face.
she's even more
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
I
Like
guess
he
even
was like,
that's
but a
really-
nice, but like if she had a nice face,
Yeah, yeah,
It's like
if she wasn't
that's
real
clearly
ugly.
a beautiful woman.
Yeah. And Opie says, I myself am 6'3". Humble brag, but okay.
I myself from 6'3".
And yes, part of why I put up with her behavior so long is because, yes, smashing that is a privilege. And yes, at the time I was thinking with my wiener.
So when your wife says, "Oh, he's always thinking with his wiener," it's true.
Well, that's because I was thinking with my wiener, says OP. But anyways, we had a brunch, just her and myself, and I figured that because we were in a crowded, popular restaurant, yet at a table for two, she wouldn't cause a scene or yell at me. So I followed a lot of people's advice and just held her hand and reminded her that I love her and I'm totally in love with her, respect her, and will always be on her side. But I reminded her that she had said things in the past, and more often than one or two isolated incidents, where I felt totally disrespected. I reminded her that I work hard at 2 jobs to keep both of us in comfort in a nice home, and that I support her in all she wants to do in life. I reminded her that I have tried numerous times in the past to discuss her disrespect with me, but she always blew me off, and I reminded her, boy, OP loves reminding her that I've always supported her and spoken highly of her.
Yeah, she always blew you off.
Oh, God. Sophia got him, ladies and gentlemen. Got him. And spoke highly of her
I don't
because
always like what I have to do.
you see what I've become because of these boys.
My name is Miguel O'Hara. I don't always like what I have to do.
And always spoke highly of her because she is my wife, first of all. I love her. And second, because I believe every word when I say I love her and respect her. Very nice. I reminded her how smart she is, and she can't possibly fail to see that what she's doing is hurtful to me.
Okay, what's the problem?
Well,
That was a whole lot of preamble.
we got a whole lot of
We got a butt coming
set
up.
up. She really surprised me.
Okay.
Can't even lie. She really surprised me. She actually started to cry.
embarrassing.
Out of anger. No, I'm just kidding.
Kidding.
Dude, what? Sophia slipped some more silly juice while we weren't looking.
Sorry.
We were at a corner table and no one could see her, so she wasn't scared of looking bad in front of strangers or embarrassing herself. The waiter came up to the table a couple of times to offer things, but I signaled him to come later. Dude, sometimes the waiters be coming at the worst times.
They
man.
really do.
God.
She's like crying, and the waiter's like, "Can I offer you some wine?"
So are you guys ready to order yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard about our new specials? No,
Okay.
I don't want to. She confessed she knew that she was being a witch, that she couldn't help it, that she knew she was wrong, and that she felt horrible, but she felt pressure to succeed. That she felt that she's getting old and feels horrible because supposedly I'm in my prime while she's past hers. Ridiculous, by the way. She told me she felt guilty that I'm younger than her, but taking care of her, and that she's older and she could be the one caring for me, and that since she's supposedly going downhill, I won't find her attractive anymore and will cheat on her.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's insecure and she's lashing out and taking it out on you so that you feel more insecure.
Yes.
It's classic insecure relationship tactics. You make your partner feel bad about themselves so that they, by comparison, like think you're better and like you don't even deserve them. So like, why would I leave them?
And you know what, Sophia? The levels of I don't like that are high.
Bad.
Bad.
Talk about your insecurities. Don't take them out on your partner.
Let's talk about it. All of these things she said made her feel really insecure and that she just lashed out, was angry at me for imaginary things I might do in some pretend future where I stopped loving her. Oh man. She said that she felt, her words, hopelessly outclassed by my accomplishments and that it hurt her self-esteem to be so reliant on me. This is the one time I agreed with her early teasing and said being a community college teacher isn't that amazing and that she's only 33 and has lots of life left and her story isn't yet a third written. Story's still unwritten.
Yeah.
She confessed that her younger brother, he's also my age, maybe a couple of years older, also outperformed her in school, and it made her feel bad. Her
Comparison is the thief of joy.
thief. Swipe or no swiping. My joy, that is. Her parents teased her about it, and in some ways, I reminded her insecurity about being outdone by a younger sibling. Side note, I hope she doesn't see me as a sibling now. Get these washing machines out of here.
Yeah, no, you guys are bros.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, right. Nice dig. She explained that when we're alone together, she can be herself, and that's when she loves life best. But when we're with other people, especially her female friends, she feels a huge pressure to show how strong and how independent she is. She promised me that she would never do it again, and that if she did, that I should immediately tell her to knock it off.
Great conversation.
We are making some progress here. Got to give it to her. She kind of admitted everything. and it
Absolutely,
makes
really
sense
great.
and-
I mean,
yeah.
we're all human. We've all
true.
got biases and
It's true, man.
and insecurities, and sometimes we take them out on other people, and it's just like it's nice to be with people that keep you in check.
Yeah.
And say, hey, stop it. And then you go, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, saying the quiet part out loud can do some magic sometimes.
Yeah, like sometimes people really just don't even notice that they're doing something.
It's very true. It's very true. Sophia's killing it with the advice today.
Oh,
I can't even lie.
shucks.
I can't even lie. Now, she also begged me, absolutely begged me, with hand wringing and everything, not to leave her. And that she would be better and asked me for another chance, promising not to mess up again. And now for the best part. She explained that she poked fun at my non-existent stomach fat because she was insecure about the fact that she herself had put on a few pounds the last month or so. She was utterly distraught that I would think she was ugly and A, would not want to sleep with her anymore, and B, cheat on her. Oh. That's so sad.
And that's her own issues that
Indeed.
she needs to deal with,
This is
not your problem, OP.
This is true.
Dingus bot, who is cheating?
Trying to trip it up. Let's see.
Trick question.
In the story, there was no mention of anyone cheating.
Boom.
All right.
Can't trick Dingus
question. I see what you did there. By the way, you can't trick me. There's no way. Sophia, me, Riley, we're untrickable.
Untrickable.
And guess what? Because if you haven't gone to Spotify, Apple, or iHeart, searched OK Storytime and listened to all 2,000 episodes that you can binge, nonstop content to fill your workday while you're doing the dishes, whatever, for your listening pleasure. If you want to lie and say you've listened to every episode and I don't believe you, well, you haven't done what I just told you to do.
It's true.
Go look up the podcast and start listening to it, guys.
Go. Don't make him do it. He will.
point.
This is a hostage situation.
This is a hostage
Give your
situation.
ears or else.
I will draw a smiley face on your smiley face. So you watch out, okay? Now let's get into the last part of the story. So it turns out she's pregnant.
What? Oh, hormones too. Also maybe.
Oh.
But also, I think this was kind of going on the whole time. so
Probably.
maybe-
Wow,
Yeah.
that's really sexist, Sophia.
No, it's just bodily.
I
You
don't know,
can't-
that's
you can't
pretty
trap me.
sexist.
You can't trap me. That's just how hormones work, man.
Woo!
So whenever I'm saying you're getting too hormonal, it's a problem.
When have you ever said that?
Being too hormonal. Is it a problem now?
We're about to have a problem.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we're bros, right, Riley?
Uh-oh.
We're bros,
You know,
right?
you know what comes with that.
Oh,
Okay, I'm
she
done.
wants to swing.
There we go.
I'm good, guys. Everything's
One free
fine.
shot. One free shot.
Wait, what? Who?
Oh, you know. Get
I don't
ready.
live in this
Count
sexist
days.
world. Give me a chance.
So it turns out she's pregnant and I'm going to be a dad. She says she's been irritable and judgy and a total witch lately because of hormones. And on top of all of that, she feared that I'd lose interest in her if I couldn't have spicy sleep with her for several months while he's pregnant. Heck, I don't mind. I'll gladly wait. She says she'll happily give me oral in the meantime.
Okay.
Well, there's some details for you, which is pretty awesome. So happy ending and happy 4th of July.
America!
And God bless America.
Also, low key, with how this guy talks, besides him being a yoga teacher,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know, someone's gonna hate me after I say this, but she's a feminist, and she's like, I am independent, which is great, awesome, but it's bothering her because she is with someone that she is relying on, she is dependent, and this guy seems to be a very like America kind of guy.
What? Because he said happy 4th.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
And he was like, I'm so totally happy to be hitting that.
Well, I think it's just because he's happy.
Dang it. Okay, you know
You're
what?
like-
It didn't work. Editors, take it out.
Keep it in. Keep it in. Yes? Anything else you want to share with the class? Sophia?
No, I just thought you had something else to share.
I did not. Oh, I did have I had a question for Riley. I love that. Sophia's gonna ask me, do you have anything else? She just goes,
But that's the end of that story.
Yes, that's the end of this story, and we are going to do something crazy. When I finish counting down from 3, we're going to completely change clothes and maybe people, and it's going to be crazy. Are you ready, everyone?
1, 2, 3.
And we're back.
In different clothes.
Well, you don't look at that.
Just as we promised.
My husband didn't invite me to his graduation. Then he tried to gaslight me? Husband didn't invite us to his graduation. Found out today that he did, in fact, invite his family. Throwaway account because I'm tired of having so much to post about, and it's been an emotional, draining couple of weeks, to say the least. By the way, this comes from Tis for Tiger 15 and then Hole 95. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So,
We got a duel. We got a double right here.
looks like we got 2 POVs here.
Ooh, let's freaking go. Those are the best.
To start off, my husband is graduating from Office Candidate School in 2 weeks. Office Candidate School?
You are officially a candidate for office. Congratulations.
Okay.
Keon, can you look up what that is? I
What
don't know.
is, like, what? John just got back from Entrepreneur Podcast Academy.
I mean, at least that makes sense. What is an office candidate like?
Okay. Office Candidate School or OCS, is a program for civilians and enlisted service members to become commissioned officers in the United States military.
Oh, civilian to army man.
I see.
Okay.
All right.
Congrats.
Got it.
Find out if you're qualified. That's like the first thing. All right, crazy.
Let's do it. Let's all sign up for it.
There
and
we
then
go.
stream from the army.
Oh, boy.
To start off, my husband is graduating from Office Canada School in 2 weeks, which is where a civilian becomes an army man. He's been gone for 6 months. He was home for Christmas for 2 weeks. And I've been a stay-at-home mama to our almost 2-year-old little one. I've been blessed to be able to be at home, but single parenting is no joke, and I've mostly been in it during a pandemic. Anyway, he wasn't able to have guests at his graduation from boot camp. BCT, but he was able to have 2 adult guests at his officer graduation and 1 minor. I actually didn't hear this from my husband. My mother saw it on Facebook. I don't have social media aside from Reddit, and it was for a graduation that took place last month.
Ooh.
At the base where he was at was beginning to have in-person guests, only 2 guests and 1 minor, and tons of the vid restrictions. I brought this up to my husband last month, and he said that it was likely they would be allowed 2 guests and 1 minor, but that they weren't quite sure yet, and they wouldn't know more until closer to graduation. I don't know, it seems like they know if they're posting on Facebook.
Yeah, I think he just had to save that for the other 2 people that he had going. His
and one
other wife
minor.
and his other kid.
Oh yeah, those
Secret
yes.
family.
Secret family. We then talked about how it might be difficult for me to travel with the little one, that the little one wouldn't sit still during the ceremony, the vid, etc. I also had a possible surgery I was going to have, but ended up pushing it back to when my husband returns for training for 16 weeks mid-July. Okay, fast forward a few weeks ago. We talk about graduation again, and he says he invited his dad and brother, that they were getting a hotel and attending his graduation. I didn't ask why his mom wasn't going. I just figured, okay, 2 people are allowed per candidate, so he invited his brother and his dad. I tried not to be upset because we were actually never formally invited. It was almost like my husband was coming up with excuses as to why we shouldn't go. Okay, I am a little confused here because she was kind of like being like, well, it would be hard for me and the baby to make it. I'm not really sure. She didn't seem like super on board about coming to the graduation.
But I mean, I think correct me if I'm wrong, he knew that he had the possibility of being able to invite the 2 of them and then just never said anything.
Got it.
And that's where it's like, hey, yeah, maybe I couldn't have gone anyways, but it's like, why are you not telling me about your graduation or like inviting me to your graduation? Like, it would be like, is it possible that he was like dumb enough to that's just an oversight? Yes, I think it's possible, but not likely.
Yeah. Flash forward to today. I asked my husband if more than 2 people were allowed to go to the graduation as of now, 2 weeks out. And his response was, yeah, only 2, but I might be able to get tickets. We will see. My friend is only having his wife attend, so he has 1 ticket available. Then I said, okay, that's cool. I told him that my neighbor, who was a former Army, asked me today if we were going to my husband's graduation, to which I explained to him that they were only allowed 2 people and that husband's brother and dad were going. I told my husband I was pretty bummed because I kept getting asked about his graduation. He instantly got upset at me and told me I had no right to be upset because I had chosen not to attend. Hello, you were never actually invited me, but I can't say that because he claims he did ask me. She just was like, it might be hard for me to go. That's the only conversation they had about it.
Yeah.
Then he goes on to tell me his mom and sister are also both going.
What? Haven't we used all of our passes except for the kid pass, the minor pass?
Yeah, the kid can probably go, but you can't go, OP.
Dude.
Not you. I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. But in my mind, I was floored. Then he went on about how they just want to support him and that he hopes he can get them all tickets. But he was upfront with them about that, not being 100% sure he would be able to. Nonetheless, they were flying out 2 days before and then staying for 2 days after the graduation to hang out with his family. You can imagine how I feel at this point. Then my husband tells me if I want to go now to let him know so he can tell his mom and sister to know to cancel. So you're going now. So I can tell my mom and sister to cancel. Because I know how you get around my mom and them. Whoa. Just keep shoving the knife in deeper, will ya? I know I don't even address this side remark because he's hardly ever assigned responsibility to his family for our strained relationship. And he constantly pins me as a bad person without acknowledging all the hurtful things they've done to me. Not even worth arguing about. Yikes.
It seems this to me seems to be the underlying thing here. It's like, yeah, I think the mom and the sister are like, well, you have to invite us. You can't invite OP and your kid to your own graduation.
Come on.
Just you wait.
So then a short time later, we speak over the phone, and then he tells me just to come and that I can hang out with his brother outside and tour the museum, which left me to the assumption, if you're only allowed 2 people inside a base for the graduation, you're not picking me, I'm assuming. Then I politely ask him if me and the little one can book our own hotel room since I'm still front airbag feeding my little one, but also because I often change my tops a lot, etc. I obviously wouldn't be comfortable sharing a room with his family either, but I didn't mention that. He was upset and said we would all have to share a room, same flights, etc. Then the topic was dropped, and I was left feeling like my husband is a POS. I don't even know how to express how hurt I feel. Sure, he eventually invited me, but after I brought it up, I felt bummed out. I've never felt more like an afterthought. All of his friends' wives are going, and his entire immediate family is going. Girl, you're a part of his immediate family.
Yes, you are his family, like immediate family at that.
Surely he didn't tell his friends that he actually didn't invite me. I'm assuming he told them that I did not want to go. I spent the entire afternoon crying my eyes out. He's going to be home soon, and I couldn't be dreading it more. Edit, fixed my baby's age as to not to offend anyone who's bothered by listing months and not years. Okay.
That's funny.
Oh my gosh. And we got an update. I don't know. I don't like this relationship.
Yeah, I mean, we got the kicker, which was he doesn't defend OP to his family members who,
Especially the mom and sister, it seems like.
yeah. So
Alicia, I'm so sorry. This isn't even an issue about the graduation, to be honest. It's an entire relationship issue where they don't communicate and don't even seem to be getting along.
that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what it seems to be. And he just like isn't really caring, it seems like. You know, it was a month, the graduation ceremony was a month ago.
Yeah.
And Opie just found out like by accident, basically.
Yeah.
So he wasn't gonna tell her, like dang.
Update.
Oh.
Do we think she went or not, everyone? Put your answers in the comments below.
Let's see.
I couldn't find the throwaway account, so I made a post a couple of weeks ago. So this is from her other account.
Ah, I see.
So we don't get to see the other POV.
Dang it! Grr.
Not even sure where to begin, but a lot has happened since I posted it a couple of weeks ago. My husband is home from the military. He was at school and training, and his graduation took place last Thursday. His mom, dad, brother, and sister were all invited in attendance. I was really sad about the entire thing, but I did make the best of the day, and the little one, almost a 2-year-old, celebrated in our own way. We went out to eat and enjoyed a nice day at the beach. My husband was still sticking to his version of events that he had invited me. I was supposed to be unable to attend, and that his family was going, and that he was getting them extra tickets. Each candidate was given 2 adult tickets and 1 minor ticket. He spent the day of the graduation and the day after with his family and came home last weekend. We had a good family reunion of just the 3. I picked him up from the airport, and Lo and I were happy to see him. Came to a head on the 3rd day of his arrival. I saw tons of pictures online of the graduation. Many of his fellow classmates and other spouses and children in attendance. Some had their parents. Only a few had siblings. I brought this up to my husband as I was confused. He told me the real reason he did not want me there was because he didn't want me to fight with his mother over who would pin him. There we go.
There it is.
We go.
At least we've discovered it.
MOMABOY, mama's boy, mama's boy.
Dude, that's crazy.
I know Keon liked that one.
Hey, where'd that come from?
Dominic Fike. That's a song.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah. Oh, LO means little one. Oh, she said LO and I was like, what? Little one.
It was J-Lo.
Reddit, can we stop using abbreviations, please? It's confusing.
It's too much.
Soon to be ex-husband. That one's the worst one.
Yeah.
I like, come on.
I always think it's like Starbucks. It's like STBX. Yeah, that's an insane excuse. And also to the big hidden nugget that we got earlier of like, yeah, he doesn't like defend me to his family or anything. So like instead of having his wife and his child, but you know, like basically his wife be there, he would rather appease his mom so that way they don't have to fight over who's going to pin the pin.
Yep, exactly.
On his jacket.
Easy solution. That sounds like a great place for a foundation of relationship.
I've got another solution. Divorce. Not yet.
For this?
It's not yet. No. But
I don't think they should have got together in the first place.
I mean, that should really be. We have divorce and then we have time machine.
Yeah.
Time machine is where you go back in time and you're like, do not get in a relationship with this person. Don't do it.
For his specific school, he would be pinned on both sides. So again, I was confused. So we've been pinned twice. One for his mom, one for his wife.
Like, I mean, maybe you're only allowed to have one person, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. It's just like, oh, God.
I asked him why I couldn't pin one side and his mother the other. We could have pinned them simultaneously.
There you go.
He then said that his sister pinned the other side and that he was afraid I had been in attendance. I would have wanted to pin both sides. He never communicated this to me. Not once. I told him that he had communicated this to me back in April. I would have been happy to share it in pinning along with his mother. I told him I was never given the opportunity to talk it through with him. He then went on to say he didn't communicate it with me because he knew how jealous I would be and that there would be no point in bringing it up. Dude, my favorite part about this guy is like, he already knows what Opie's about to say. He already knows what her thoughts are. So like in that, he's saving time by not even asking her. Very efficient man.
Listen.
Wow.
You know, sometimes the fastest way to say something is, guess what, shocker, ladies and gentlemen, by just not saying it all. If you want pure speed, if you want to be a Formula F1 racer racing emotions, then don't say anything, and it's the quickest way to communicate the nothing that you're sharing.
Nothing could go wrong.
There you go. Life advice. Words to live by.
I could understand if this had happened before, but I've never attended any of my husband's ceremonies or graduations before. This isn't typical behavior because it's never happened. I do not have the best relationship with my in-laws, specifically with my mother-in-law, and that stems from my husband's inability to have or establish boundaries with his family. When this conversation was brought up, he stated that he loves us all the same. Although I am his wife and we have a baby, it seems like he doesn't view us as our own family unit, but rather as an extension of his family. He is fully aware of things his mother has said to me and how I've been treated, and yet he still believes that I'm the problem and that I'm the one who needs to make an effort. He went as far to say that even if it was his family isn't making an effort, which they did very little of while he was gone, I still need to make an effort. And by the way, you need to make an effort after this story. Go to your favorite freaking podcast platform, search up OK Storytime on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. Make an effort and watch more stories like this one. Come on, it'll be fun.
Do it.
Effort
Do it now.
Do it.
equals more effort out.
Yes. Yes.
And John, can you find this man's backbone for his family? Is it possible?
Oh, I just looked. It doesn't exist.
Not a thing?
It doesn't exist. It's
Okay.
it's a whisper of air. Yeah, I mean, we've said this a million times on the show. If a family is stressing out your significant other, if it's your family, it's your job to go to them and talk to them about it. So this is early. We haven't gone to counseling or anything, but it's like, will he ever fix this? Will he ever actually change his ways? Doesn't seem likely from where we're sitting, all the information we have at hand.
I can't help but feel hurt that he has intentionally excluded us from his graduation and repeatedly denied not inviting me. He knew what he was doing the entire time. There was no apology and certainly no remorse of any kind. He feels like he was justified in his actions and that he had the right not to invite whomever he wanted. He expects me to carry on and having a happy marriage and act like nothing happened. I don't feel like I'm allowed to have any sort of voice or opinion on how I'm treated, specifically when it comes to his family. If I do voice my feelings, they are used against me and are used as fuel to his agenda that my husband thinks I have against his family. You hate my family. And that's it. That's the end of that story. Yikes.
Big yikes. This was an episode of big yikes across the board, I do have to say.
Yeah.
I do have to say.
I wish people are able to see a day in the life of them and their future spouse before they get married. Like there's a little bit of a glimpse, like a 15-minute video or something of what your life's going to look like.
Yeah.
And if you hit pause, you can stop and I don't know. There just has to be something, some kind of technology out there to predict this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
So true. Ask chat to first create the predicted scenario based on everything you got, and then bring it over to have the video generated, and then watch it. That's kind of crazy. I
feel like you could, because humans are people of behavior. So if you're able to understand every person's behavior beforehand, you can kind of get a glimpse.
My mother-in-law judged me. Now things are uncomfortable.
Ooh, I wonder if she judged you unworthy.
Some background info. My husband and I moved abroad at the end of last year so that he can go to university. Our new home is a country in a different continent with a completely different language and social custom. We didn't speak the language and knew nobody when we first arrived here. By the way, this comes from user didn't choose my in-laws, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. My husband had a built-in social network through his university, was focused on carrying out his goal, and is very content. I'm a bit lost career-wise. I quit my old job. I taught a couple students online so that we would still have some income. But very recently, my students returned to in-person classes, and that was the end of my teaching gig. I was and am struggling hard to adapt to this new country, especially with pandemic restrictions when we first arrived. Also, this country has an incredibly low rate of vaccination and a high rate of mistrust in their healthcare system. So we were honestly just afraid to socialize for the fear of catching the vid before we got our booster shots. Being isolated far from my family and honestly my unemployment were severe mental blows. My husband has been incredibly patient with me and tried his best to cheer me up while I was feeling homesick. It's gotten a lot better once we got our third vaccination, mask mandates were lifted, and the weather got warmer. I've been going out to meet more people, and I even applied to a job at a local school. I was feeling much better about our new home and even made some new friends. My parents-in-law arrived for a visit earlier this week. I worked hard to make sure that the house was comfortable and welcoming for them. I like to cook and bake, so I made sure that there was always fresh bread and good food to share with them. Here's the thing. I'm a homebody and an introvert, and it was a lot to have my in-laws stay with us. So whenever my mother-in-law and father-in-law went out for their walk while my husband was in class, they'd invite me, but I'd opt to relax and recharge at home. Our house is not that big, so it's tough for 4 people to share that space, and I've been very drained. But I did plan activities to do with my mother-in-law. I made hair appointments, and we even went to a paint and wine event. We always share meals together, and when they were home, I would make an effort to socialize and get to know them. But yesterday, it was just my mother-in-law and myself at home. We were talking about whether or not to go for a walk. And I said, yeah, let's go. But I do love staying at home. And she gave me a funny look. So I jokingly asked her if she thinks it's odd that I love being indoors so much. And she answered flatly with a yes. She thinks I'm wasting my life and that I'm not doing anything. I was shocked. And I told her that's a bit harsh. And I told her there was a pandemic and I just started meeting people, going outside, and applying for a job. And I just put things on pause while they're visiting. And if I'm really honest, I like to relax and recharge at home while no one is around. But she wouldn't back down and said that's just what she thinks. I can feel myself getting emotional. So I excused myself to our bedroom and I cried. My mother-in-law found me crying and tried to talk. And she did apologize if she offended me, but she quickly got impatient and frustrated with me when I continued to be upset and brought up some other things she said and done throughout the week that made me uncomfortable. She then pushed me to go out for a walk to get fresh air, but I refused because now I was scared she'll say something or I'll say something to her, so we'll start hurting each other with our words. I asked her to please leave the room, and she left while slamming the door. Later that evening, we all had dinner and pretended that everything was normal. My husband and I went for a walk on our own, and I told him what went down. He understood and was not surprised because he sensed that I was not my normal self. When we got back, I asked my mother-in-law if we can go to another room to talk. I told her that what she said really hurt me and that I'm really trying my best to adapt. So it was unfair for her to dismiss all my efforts just like that. And we're inviting them to our home. So I think she should be a little bit more respectful and not judgmental. She was incredibly hostile in response and said that I'm being dramatic and that we've been over this already and she doesn't have to put up with this crap, and she stood up and just left. I stopped her and said, wait, I'm trying to talk with you. And she scoffed and mocked me and said that she thinks I'm being a princess and I'm a people pleaser and I'm being dramatic. And that's when I exploded and I told her, F you. And she said that she's finally seeing my true colors. Said sorry, and I admitted I crossed the line. I shouldn't have said that, and I wish I could take that back. She was really bringing out my worst. She doubled down and said I asked her what she thought, and she was just saying her honest opinion. My question, did I really ask her for her judgment on how I live my life? My 2 cents? Also, if you're going to offer an opinion about someone, should you not always frame it in the kindest way possible?
I know what I think about that. What do you think about that?
Like, if I ask for your opinion about something, I know what you're going to say.
Like,
it's going to be brutally honest, and you're not going to hold back. And I'm like, okay, I think you need to know who you're asking when you're like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. I think because it just started with a look, and maybe OP is like, what are you? Is that weird? Then you just weren't expecting her to be like kind of like mean and nasty about it. I think that the mother-in-law there's like a technique. It's like poking the bear.
Yeah.
So the mother-in-law is just like kind of chipping away at you until you do that like F you and you explode. And then she goes, see?
Got it. Yeah.
I knew this was how you were.
It's a mind game kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law is winning. At the end, feeling very defeated and that the conversation wasn't going anywhere, I asked, can we at least just say sorry if we hurt each other? She conceded to that, and we said sorry. So this entire time, I thought we were getting along fine, but my mother-in-law and father-in-law were just pretending and hiding what they really thought of me. In actuality, they were showing their true colors to me, not the other way around. I was no longer comfortable staying in the same house as them, so I offered to stay at a friend's house. They said they'll find their own arrangements in the morning. My husband sat up with me as I cried and didn't blame me for how I reacted at all. In the morning, I holed myself up in the bedroom and he helped his parents find different accommodations and escorted them out. By the way, I'm going to escort you to the next story with episodes just like this. Go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. From time to time, I heard some comments that sounded a bit judgmental from my parents-in-law, and I found it odd that their relationship with their children and relatives were so strained. But I didn't really give it too much thought until now. But all the dots are connecting. They make a good first impression, but underneath it all, they are incredibly narrow-minded and judge everybody around them, and given the hint of a chance, they don't shy away from telling that to the other person. But they did fly all the way here, and they will always be my husband's parents, and by extension, mine. And I fear that if I left this as it was, this rift will be irreparable. And here's my dilemma. They are here for 2 more days. Should I offer an olive branch? Should I just leave this as is and go no contact? Should I update my sister-in-law about what happened between me and her mom? We have some comments. But Dakota, before we get to the comments, what do you think?
Honestly, I think just let it chill. Like, given the context of when this happened, like during the pandemic.
Yeah, emotions were really high. There's just in general. And like this is like maybe the tail end of it where things are somewhat opening up. So
I think all of this really isn't an issue necessarily all about the mother-in-law, which, yeah, her behavior was bad. But I think what OP needs to address more is just like being okay. It's like, it's okay if somebody disagrees with the way that you want to live your life, because it doesn't stop you from doing it in any way.
As long as it's in a respectful way of like, okay, you can do your thing.
And it's emotionally charged to hear that come out of your husband's mom's mouth.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot to handle. So it makes sense you're emotional, but like just moving forward in that relationship, know that you are secure. Clearly your husband cares about you. You are secure in that, and just, move forward with that silly baby. Silly baby is going to say silly baby stuff about me.
The olive branch, I guess, in a way, yeah. You want to make things comfortable as possible, but again, in a way that it's respectful to you as well, not just succumbing to their needs and be like, okay, yes, like, it's my fault. It's like, it's
right
on both of us. Be mature here.
There's a limit. Like, there is a point where it needs to be like, all right, now something needs to be said. I don't think you need to go no contact.
I don't think I don't think no contact. As long as things go back to like a normal sense of things, and they don't live there. Again, they're visiting.
Yeah, because there's plenty of distance. There's enough distance there for this to be like kind of just reset, I think.
In regards of sister-in-law, you possibly, but also have your husband. But we have some comments. Comment number 1. There is a generational gap between you and your mother-in-law. Everyone has a subjective way of thinking. He wasn't responsible for your outbursts. You were. I kind of feel reading it that you expect people to be patient with you. Was there an element that perhaps your mother-in-law felt that a walk may be good for you? You think it was possible she wanted to just walk and talk? Maybe she thought fresh air and exercise would help. You thought your mother-in-law was judgmental. Did you judge her? The start of your message really sounded to me like you were in a rut and struggling. Is it possible she was trying to help? Also sounds like you had an excuse and could use it against her rather than communicating and solving your differences. You have expectations of how she should frame things or say things. I know toxic relationships. This doesn't sound that bad at all. Try therapy for yourself and see what you can learn about you. Focus on you and not anybody else. OP. There is definitely a generational gap and a cultural difference between us. We have different nationalities, and I think we both tried in our way, but it didn't work out. I think she meant well by offering to go for a walk. I regret now that I didn't take her up on it, and I regret my outburst. That was on me, and maybe I was judging her. We are different people, and I realize I can't communicate with her in the way I'm used to, so I'll make an effort on adjusting. I still don't think it's okay that she disrespected me in our own home, but she doesn't see it that way, and it was just her sharing her opinion, and her words hurt a lot because it felt like she was punching me when I was down. But maybe I said something hurtful or disrespectful to her unintentionally before this event too. So I'll work on what I can. And if anything, I get that she's just looking out for her son and wants a strong partner for him. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That comment's pretty rational. Nobody sucks here. In hindsight, it's just differences and it should be more respectful.
Maybe OP, like they're saying there's like a cultural and generational gap. Maybe OP hears that like really direct, forward, blunt kind of opinion response.
Different.
As like, oh my God, she's like really insulting me. Like she like hates me. But maybe the mother-in-law is just coming from like well, I mean, now that you mention it, like, yeah, I think that people who spend all their time inside are like wasting their time. Like, I think you could probably get out more and it'd be good for you.
I think it's very common in like Swedish or Dutch. They're just like, they're very blunt, or even German. It's just like a European thing for some cultures that they're very blunt, and that's just how they talk.
My friend called me selfish for looking out for my own family first.
No.
This comes straight from the r/OK Storytime subreddit.
Yes.
I met my friend back in 2007 when I was a senior in high school. Her name is April and is only a few months younger than me, but at the time of us meeting, she was still considered a freshman by school credits. By the way, this comes from Specialist Ask 615328, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, after I graduated, I went on to work and go to college, which didn't last very long due to my family struggling to make ends meet. All this time, April and I would talk off and on, but not on the level we did in high school. Fast forward to 2015, which is when I went to high school, if anyone was wondering. I met my soon-to-be husband. We both worked together, and he encouraged me to go back to college to finish my degree. I went for fashion and design. We dated for 2 years before getting engaged, and in 2019, we got married.
Oh, it's cute.
We did a courthouse wedding because neither one of us could afford a wedding. Around this time, April kept trying to talk to me more, and I was super busy and felt like I couldn't talk the amount she wanted me to. Soon after my wedding, my husband and I moved out of state, about 6 hours away from where I grew up. It wasn't long after we moved that April would send me these long messages just detailing what she was doing, but it was all the same thing. She was living with a friend, still never graduated high school, came to find out that when she turned 21, she was punted out by the state. What? She was working as a grocery cashier. That's why she only talks about the grocery store, which she lost soon afterwards for missing money and had no intentions to better herself. She was huge into reading and poorly writing fan fiction as well as TikTok. And that's okay. Fan fiction doesn't have to be well written. It's just about the process. She asked me to read a story she wrote, and I told her I didn't have time to read it with my current job. I worked at a veterinary hospital at the time and never opened the link. Now to talk about this TikTok obsession of hers. She regularly met up with people she met on TikTok pre the vid, and that's where she met Michelle. Michelle, while not an attractive woman, was more intelligent than April.
Oh, God.
Michelle worked out of state about 5 hours in the opposite direction of me from where April and I grew up as an EMT. This is huge later, I promise.
Okay.
Not even a month after meeting Michelle, April and her started to date. This was October of 2019. Come Easter 2020, Michelle proposed to her. I was nice and congratulated April, but did later ask her if she felt she was rushing into this, in which she said no. She knows Michelle and loves her for who she is. This is where the problem started. Due to the vid, I was laid off. I also have major medical problems, so my husband and I decided it was best that I took a bit of time off to finish my classes and stay well. April messaged me this whole time while trying to plan a huge wedding for October 2020, 1 year to the day of meeting Michelle. April begged me to make her wedding dress. I said that I could, but it would come with a price. I am a talented seamstress and will not do work for free, nor should you.
Yeah.
She showed me inspiration pictures which looked like the dresses that could be a Disney princess dress. I told her based on current fabric prices, a dress like that would be about $1,500 to $2,000. This would let me earn about $300 to $500 depending on the style of the dress. This was a huge price cut compared to my normal work, but I was being generous due to knowing April personally. She didn't like the price.
Uh-oh.
She asked me what could I make for $100? And I told her something more along the lines of a sundress style wedding dress, nothing like she wanted. She asked, why would a sundress style wedding dress cost her so much? So I had to explain to her that for myself, I would only need a few yards of fabric due to wearing a dress size 2, where I would need considerably more fabric due to her wearing a dress size 34. This made her mad, and I didn't hear from her again until close to August. August came with a wedding invitation, which I told her due to the vid and medical concerns, I was unable to attend. She said she understood, and in the end, she only had family due to lockdown. She did do a TikTok live stream of her wedding, which I watched from a hospital room.
Oh.
I hope you're okay.
Yeah.
I did send her a small gift. At this time, I found out I had heart issues and genetic mutations, which explained why my husband and I never had kids. But not even 2 months later, I got pregnant. Heck yeah.
Congrats.
This is when we moved back to my hometown to be closer to my family. We wanted our child to be near their grandparents. April swore that I was trying to take away from her big day by being in the hospital and getting pregnant. What? That's not how that works. She's like, you're ill and you're doing it on purpose.
How dare you? How dare you conceive a baby right when I was having a wedding?
I was floored because I was told I would never get pregnant. Come the month of April, I was very heavily pregnant, and friend April mentioned doing a wedding in October 2021, 1 year anniversary, and invited family and friends. She again wanted me to make her wedding dress, and I gave her the same quote. She was livid all over again. She asked me to make bridesmaid dresses, and I gave her a similar quote for 5 dresses. It was at this point I found out that I was not asked to be a bridesmaid due to the fact that my hair was short and I would stick out. I only cut my hair due to my medical problems. I just pushed this off and kept going. Then April asked me to do hair and makeup for her wedding. I told her there would be a cost. She got mad because it should be free. I had to explain that I would have to practice the hairstyle and makeup look, get products, and take time to learn it. She decided that she didn't want to pay. She asked my mom, who is a professional photographer, to do her wedding photos, and my mom gave her a discounted price, which she was mad about. She just wants everything for free.
Give it to me for free.
She then asked me to borrow my mom's professional camera and take pictures for her. I said no. Opie's not a bridesmaid and is being expected to just do all of this for free.
Also, I love how she like tried to remix it
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, could I just borrow her camera and could you just like take some pictures of it? It's like, yeah, that's like photographing the wedding. Like that's the whole thing.
It's the same thing. It's just a different person now. After this, I refused to attend the wedding. I had my daughter in July. Her wedding renewal came, and later that night, the night of the wedding renewal, she called me. This was concerning to me because she never calls. Turned out, Michelle cheated on April, and after the ceremony on their way home, told April she wants a divorce. Why did she do that after the ceremony? That's crazy.
That's insane.
You spent all of that. I mean, I don't know how much money you spent on this, but you presumably spent a certain amount of money.
You spent $10 on the
Probably
whole
at least
wedding.
$10.
Oh my God.
This was another reason I refused to go to the wedding. I knew he was going. Josh was good friends with Michelle, and they were cheating behind April's back even earlier that morning. April left Michelle, got divorced, and Michelle married Josh not even a month later.
Married him a month later?
Their honeymoon, Michelle and Josh got into a major wreck and they were hospitalized. Oh my goodness. April was devastated because she still cared for Michelle. Michelle went 9 months in and out of ICU while I carried my second child. This is crazy.
Jeez.
This is like a K-drama.
Yeah.
Not long before I delivered, Michelle passed away. I had my second child, and he has major medical issues. April took a while to get over Michelle, and sometimes still isn't over her. Fair. Honestly, fair.
Yeah, that's a
So
lot.
fair.
That's a lot.
That
to have
all
to
happened within a
process.
month.
That's a lot for April to process.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
But now April is dating someone else and talking about marriage after 1 month. Girl, slow down.
Oh, no.
Please. She asked
No.
again if I would make her wedding dress, to which I replied, with what time? I'm busy with my severely medically fragile son and my daughter who has autism. I don't have time to make even a Halloween costume. This was met with yells about me being selfish, and I don't know how to address April or the problem. Please help. And there are some comments. But, John, how do we...
All right. A lot to deal with. Getting divorced after the ceremony. Michelle passes away. Just like an insane whiplash of
Truly.
the most intense emotional experiences a human can go through. Getting divorced and then like losing that person.
Divorced.
Divorced.
Then losing that person that you were about to marry.
Just complete insanity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think OP could like writing a letter or like calling her and just kind of being like, hey, look, you've been through some rough stuff, and I so wish you the best, and I am rooting for you, and I am in your corner, but like it does seem like this kind of cycle keeps happening, and specifically because right now I have to take care of my kids. Like I just don't know that I can be the person and friend that you need me to be, and like I'm gonna need some time
I think that would
away.
be the angel response.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a little bit left to
Here we
this
go.
story. Comment 1. So why are you friends with her? This person is nothing but drama and trouble. I'd be taking a huge step back and going no contact. Opie says, the only reason I still talk to her is because all but her and one other person have stopped talking to me due to my son's condition. Comment 2 says, find some new friends that aren't toxic and takers. Opie says, I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to make friends. I struggled in school and I struggle out of school. Comment 3, I'm sorry to hear about your son and wishing your family nothing but the best. As for April, it seems like she's extremely selfish, and in your time of stress, I'm not sure she's a good person to have in your life. A supportive friend wouldn't be upset with you after setting the boundary that you did, especially because of your circumstances. She seems to only care about what you can do for her and not what she can do for you. It doesn't sound like she's very receptive to truth, but it might be worth it to be honest with her about her actions, about how her actions make you feel more stressed out, and that you need some time away from her. I hope that everything works out. Nevertheless, I think some time away from speaking to her is needed, as it's adding too much stress. And John, that is the end of that story.
That's it.
But OP, in terms of making friends, I think you find people, I know you're very busy, so maybe it's, whenever you got 2 kids, maybe it's making friends with the parents that are involved, like maybe your daughter's going to school soon or is in school, or whatever kind of educational program she's a part of. You can make friends with those parents that you like. That's what my mom did. I mean, she had other friends, but she just kind of set up play dates with all the moms that she liked, their kids.
It's a smart move.
Yeah, and I'm still friends with those people. And she's still friends with her moms.
2 birds, 1 stone.
I know.
You could, while you're, busy doing stuff, you could listen to the greatest podcast on earth.
That's true.
And
which we know that OP does, because this is an OK Storytime fan.
This is someone in our community, and then you can connect with the cool people here.
Exactly. We got Discord.
Yep.
Full of a ton of great people.
Yes.
My mother-in-law lied about something and it got my husband evicted.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
2 weeks ago, at 2 weeks postpartum, I finally confronted my mother-in-law about her self-absorbed person behavior, and she still refuses to leave her world of delusion. I, 24 female, am happily married to my wonderful husband, 23 male, who I have been with since our teenage years. Myself and his parents got along famously, even for some years being closer than they were with my husband and his brother. Nice. By the way, this comes from Street Sandwich 8202, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, when husband and I first ever got together, he mentioned having issues with independence in his household, with examples being him being placed in excessive extracurricular activities that he had no interest in from a very young age, not being given keys to the home until becoming an adult, forcing him to work his entire life around his parents' motives, and not having an open line of communication with his parents where they made authoritarian decisions about their household and family, and him with no explanation or consideration, and not being able to decide how his day went as an adult, or things like what foods he was going to eat. Oh, wow. So they give him no independence at all.
Ugh.
Yikes. I was raised to be the complete opposite and was living by myself from the age of 17. I encouraged him to start taking on responsibilities in his home and daily life to prove himself worthy of independence, starting from doing small things like cooking his own meals, doing his own laundry, and moving out of the room that he shared with his brother into his own room that I eventually helped him decorate with his own personal style to make it feel more like his, which he absolutely loved. I knew it was a red flag when his mother was pissed that he started to do his own laundry and came up with excuses to stop him or sabotage him, even going as far as to stop talking to him for several days. And he was literally just 18, just for doing his own laundry, as though it was some sort of personal attack. But I bit my tongue and wanted to see how it played out. Years flew by, and in 2022, my husband, then boyfriend, and I decided to move in together to the flat that I was living in, where I rented a room off of his dad, and his dad owned the property. We had a discussion with his parents and explained that we would want to rent the whole flat in the hopes that we would get married after that and start our family. And it was perfect because it was just a 4-minute walk from their family home, so we could all stay close to each other. We also agreed that we would spend our own money refurbing the flat and fully fitting a new bathroom, as it was in need of a facelift, and ultimately it added value to the property that his father would benefit from. We even added that we would more than likely buy the flat off of his father later down the line, so it would benefit us too. Side note, my father would never ever make me buy a property from him, and would just gift it to me just to put me and my family at the best place in life possible, but I guess our families are different. Anyway, we had an agreement with his parents, and they were cool with it. So we started to work in the flat and actually stripped the bathroom ourselves, did some of the plumbing ourselves, and then got a contractor to fit the new bathroom. Issues, genuine, not fabricated by the contractor, were found along the way, such as insufficient pipework, outdated insulation, etc., and the works for the bathroom, as well as the materials for the refurb and painting of the flat, which we did ourselves too. It all came to just shy of £14,000. This was fine with us as this was meant to be our first family home and we used our savings as planned. Keep in mind, we are 21 years old at this time, so $14K might not be a lot to some, but to us, it was our life savings from our entry-level jobs at the time, so it was a huge deal, haha. Silly us looking back, but we have learned. Anyway, I must backtrack here to get to the crux of this story. During the construction of the bathroom, my father-in-law had to go abroad for a family matter and asked us to stay in his house to look after my mother-in-law as she does not do well on her own. Understandable as their house was robbed in the past. Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
We agreed to stay as our relationship with her was still great at this time, and the hot water in the flat was on and off intermittently due to the ongoing works, so it was a win-win. During our stay at their house, I heard my mother-in-law one night have an argument with my father-in-law over the phone, and she was left in a mood. She then woke up the next morning, I could hear because my husband's room was right next to hers, at about 5 a.m. It's normal for her, she's an early bird, and she just sat in silence, which is not normal. My husband then came back from the gym about 6:15 and jumped into the shower to get ready for work. Like absolutely clockwork because he's a machine and does this every single day, so his mom knew that this would happen. Whilst he was showering, she banged on the bathroom door and demanded to use the toilet. He then replied saying he would be just 5 minutes as he was just finishing up. And she replied, "The world doesn't revolve around you, and you're so selfish and disrespectful," which is normal for her when she's in a bad mood, TBH. She then stormed back to her room. My husband shrugged it off and then ran back to our room as he forgot his underwear. And as he went to go back to the bathroom to finish off getting ready for work, his mom ran in front of him and locked the door, causing a scene and making him late for work on purpose. There was an effing toilet downstairs, and she could have gone before he came home and whilst he was home. She was taking out her marital problems on him because if she's miserable, everyone has to be miserable. Oh my gosh.
Exhausting.
That's like dealing with a literal child.
Yeah, I was
crazy.
going to say, if there was another bathroom, just go. If you got to go, you got to go. But
yeah, because if you really had to go that bad, you would have found a different bathroom. You've got more options.
yeah, it's so weird.
That's so weird.
Why would you?
Mom, don't do that.
I like that toilet a lot better.
Yeah, I just really like the toilet that you're using.
That's my porcelain throne.
Exactly. The world doesn't revolve around you, but it does around me. So
Ooh.
anyway, that day, hubby left for work and didn't say goodbye to her. Why would he? I stayed in his room that entire day because I did not want to be in the line of fire, and I come from a childhood of physical and get anxious around shouting. Makes sense. The next day came and she was still visibly pissed, and my husband left for work and didn't say good morning to her before he left. I did the exact same because in my eyes, if someone is pissed, you give them space. When we got back to the house that day, she was still in a bad mood and was slamming cupboards, throwing my husband's clothes down the stairs, and throwing his shoes down the hallway. What?
Little toxic baby.
Baby tantrum. That's what's happening.
Ugh.
Baby tantrum.
Yeah, it's the I need the attention. Is something wrong? No. Slams doors,
Yeah, it's
throws
like-
things.
Oh my gosh. One more day went by and the exact same thing happened. She texted me that day saying things like, "I expected more loyalty from you. I opened my home to you and you have disrespected me. I have to ask you to leave my home as you are no longer welcome." What did she do? This is mad because the father-in-law was getting mad at the mother-in-law?
It's definitely something like that, but it's definitely one of those things where if mother-in-law does not get her way in any shape, way, or form,
Yeah.
everything just goes toxic.
Gosh.
Everything goes red.
Oh my gosh. I was surprised and sent her a reply apologizing for coming across that way and explained my anxiety and said that I respect her decision and would remove my belongings upon my return in a few days, even thanking her for the opportunity to stay in their home. You are so nice, OP. That day, I was already set to stay at my dad's house for a few days to get away from my mother-in-law's energy and to just spend time with my dad. She then said, "You should have just explained this to me. And please ignore what I said. Can we just move forward and forget what I said?" Girl, no, because you said such a crazy thing. You can't just move forward from that.
Again, they don't take any accountability.
Yeah. It's so unpredictable. I replied saying, "Of course," and that I have no issue at all. So I'm staying at my dad's house for the next 2 days as prearranged, and my husband ends up joining me because he does not want to be in the house with his mom, and she is still mad at him for not saying good morning. Out of the blue, my husband receives a text from his dad who is abroad saying that he has to apologize to his mother. Show respect by saying good morning, otherwise he has to move out of their family home. My husband is on his last straw by this point, both with his mom and with the disappointment in his father's inability to even ask for his side of the story. He has spent his whole life apologizing to his mother for things that he hasn't even done, even apologizing for things that his father has done, like breaking a vase when his dad has made him take the blame to avoid being bullied by his wife. Wow, so you're gonna make your kid be bullied then?
I feel bad for OP's partner.
For real?
He's
Oh my
definitely, the traumatized childhood.
Yeah. Holy crap. So he decided to not apologize and tried to explain his perspective to his dad and said that he would move out of their house out of respect for their rules. For lack of a better term, when it's really just blackmail from a flying monkey doing his mother's bidding. So we go back to their house after our stay at my dad's and remove my stuff and just enough clothes for my husband for the next couple of weeks until the flat was done and he could fully move his things out of their house and into our new would-be home. His dad lands back in the country the next day, and hubby receives a new text from his dad saying that unless he apologizes to his mom, he is not permitted to live in that flat.
Why?
Well, aren't they moving anyway?
Why? Yeah,
Like-
wait, what? I need some context.
Yeah, because the flat that OP and her partner are living in was leased from the dad. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Okay, yeah.
But they paid for it, though, too. So, what?
Yeah, no, it's one of those things like they'll hold anything over your head. Like even just like the smallest thing
Yeah.
for OP's husband, they'll hold over his head.
Yeah.
And
just to try to get
just
what
to
they
have
want.
like a little leash on him, which
Exactly.
is the worst.
Oh my gosh. We were absolutely shocked, mortified even. We knew regardless we would be fine as we are quite the resilient pair, but shocked at how this escalated and how his dad could go back on his agreement to let us rent the flat, knowing that we spent our savings on trying to build a life for ourselves. So days go by of my husband trying to have a conversation with his parents, both via text and in person. In person, they didn't look him in the eye and actually turned their backs towards him and refused to look at him unless he said good morning to his mother. He still said it to his dad, but his dad was a flying monkey and was being used as a pawn, so he didn't turn around because mother-in-law wasn't greeted with a good morning. So we were left with a decision. Hubby to cave and say good morning, apologize, and live the rest of his life under their thumb, never feeling like we would be safe living in a flat that his dad owned, knowing that we could be punted out on a whim. We could say goodbye to the flat and the possibility of our family home and have our integrity and peace of mind renting from someone we didn't know through an agency. We chose option 2.
Thank goodness. Sorry. Thank
No, you're good.
goodness.
Hoping that things would settle over time with his parents and that they could have a better relationship without the power dynamic over his head. A relationship based on mutual respect. How silly of us. So we moved out. AKA we're homeless for a month as we didn't have enough money for a deposit for a new flat and first month's rent. Sofa surfed until the next paycheck when we immediately moved into a new apartment that we could barely afford, but it was one of the only ones available at the time. During this process, I sent his father an email confirming that he breached our agreement and provided a detailed breakdown of expenditure on the flat with receipts and asked for either a full reimbursement, partial reimbursement, or a payment plan that suited him, or an opportunity to discuss the matter and come to a solution that suited us both to prevent putting him under unnecessary financial strain. His dad replied saying he has no intention of paying anything as he didn't ask us to spend any money. I replied explaining that we only spent money on the premise of our agreement to move in. It was a whole load of back and forth. My background is in the property industry, by the way, and I had a legal card up my sleeve as my father-in-law breached several health and safety laws whilst renting out that flat. And I knew I could have easily taken him to court and won using an RRO, which is a rent repayment order in the UK. Which means that I could receive every penny of rent that I paid for the duration I lived there, and so could my housemates. This amount would have come to £32,000, which is over double the amount that we spent on the flat. Wow.
I would have done it.
Wow.
I would have done it, especially.
Listen.
Well, I would have given the warning. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
we have some legal things, and I'm in the industry. If you don't follow this, I'm just gonna do
You're
it.
screwed, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get why it's double the amount that we spent on the flat. I thought it said like we receive every penny of rent that I paid, but then it's double. But maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
Hubby and I lamented over this, but after weeks of thinking, we decided to let the money go and not pursue legal action.
No, why?
to charge the lesson to life experience and lay our heads down at night, knowing that we have been far better humans than his parents in this situation. To this day, they don't even know the favor we did them. Anyway, over the next couple of months, it was hard, man. It was hubby's first time living outside of his childhood home, paying bills, splitting chores with a significant other, and just generally feeling the weight of real life responsibility as an adult. We moved to an area of London completely foreign to him, where there were barely any people who looked like him, and far from his friends, stripped of his culture. He's also now lost his perception of his great parents, and his brother, who was his best friend, hasn't spoken to him because of everything. He still lives in the family home. Mentally, I was okay, as I've been through things in the past growing up, and I've lived alone for a long time, so I had fortitude in that regard. But husband took it hard, and we struggled in our relationship, and honestly very nearly separated because of the financial stress. But it made us so much stronger, and now fast forward to 2025, we are happily married and have a newborn, and are so immensely happy, in love, grateful and appreciative of our strength and support for one another. Truly best friends and our biggest allies in life. Yay!
Heck yeah.
So exciting.
Congrats.
Between us moving out in 2022 to today, it went from his parents messaging him in the early days saying that their house will always be his home, and sending messages like, "Happy Sunday. How was your day? I just had surgery. You need to move on. I don't even remember what happened as I was on medication back then," etc., etc. He started out so strong with those. To my husband blocking them because he became infuriated by the lack of apology for what they put him through and how they acted so carelessly and were trying to talk to him as though nothing happened. To his mom trying to send him money whilst being blocked with no context. He sent the money back immediately and told his dad, "I'm sending this back because I don't know what it's for," alluding to the fact that if it's not an apology or an acknowledgement of wrongdoing, he doesn't want it because it's just a payoff. It was £500, which I'm sorry, it's effing laughable in the face of $14K. In late 2024, he started to rebuild a relationship with his dad with the idea that his mother was the sole issue, so he could tolerate his dad. They slowly started to speak about what transpired, and hubby explained that he was disappointed in his father as a man and lost some respect for him due to how poorly he managed the situation, and reminded him that despite him being his wife's husband, he's also his father and owes it to his children to be impartial. We believe the mother has emotional blackmail against the father as they had issues in the past, but I digress. Have a backbone. Hubby asked his dad if he knew what happened the day of the bathroom incident, and his dad said, "Your mom told me that she was in the bathroom and that she left for a moment, and you ran in, and when she tried to get back in, you slammed the door in her face."
Ah.
What? That is not at all what happened.
This should have been asked way earlier, but whatever.
So long ago. When I tell you, our jaws effing dropped to the ground when we heard his dad say this over the phone. Hubby told his dad what actually happened and convinced his dad to question his mom about the story. Hubby followed up next week and asked his dad how it went. His dad told him that after he questioned his mom didn't speak to him for 3 whole days, but that you should still show your mom respect, or your mom's your mom. You know what she's like. The good outweighs the bad. We came to the conclusion that his dad was just a victim turned enabler, telling himself the same stuff to help himself feel better. Anyway, hubby went to their family home a week later to hold a family meeting in the hopes that they could move forward as a family on a better note. He asked them not to speak at first and to listen to him say the story from start to finish of what happened on the day of the incident, all the way to the aftermath, including the fact that him, his dad, and his brother now knew that his mother lied and manipulated everyone to make herself seem like the victim. When my husband looked her in the eyes and asked her why she lied, she sat there in silence, huffing and puffing, visibly outraged at the idea that her son, who should owe her the world, the moon, and the stars, would dare confront her, especially in front of others. Classic self-absorbed person. The outcome of that meeting was nothing. They still didn't apologize to my husband, and his mother still didn't take accountability for her actions. He left the meeting saying, "I need you to think about what kind of relationship you want with me and my wife and my soon-to-be-born son, and what you need to do to achieve that. But you need to change your behavior to get what you want. Think about it and let me know. Now we get to early 2025 where I'm about 6 months pregnant and my husband calls his dad to follow up on what was decided, on what relationship they wanted with him. His dad said that he, of course, wants things to go back the way they were, and my husband reiterated that they will never be the same. But whether it's worse or gets better is down to whether they can change their behavior and take ownership. He reminded his dad that we wrote off the $14,000 and only asked for an apology for the hurt and damage that they caused and the years that they sent him back. His dad very callously stated something I personally knew he felt deep down all these years. Something I think my husband knew his dad felt too, but didn't want to accept. His dad said, "I've got nothing to feel sorry for." Yikes. Boom. My husband's eyes glaze over in what seemed like both disbelief and acceptance and almost relief and closure. His dad continued in the background of our call, almost berating his son, saying things like, "I'd never be in your position because I plan financially." Ugh, I have no words. Fast forward to 5 weeks ago where I gave birth, which they knew because their other son still lives at their house and talks to us. The mother also follows me on Instagram, which I actually didn't know until last week, and saw my stories of my newborn. Hubby's brother and my overly goodwill parents encouraged Hubby and me to let his parents know personally about our new arrival, after which his parents congratulated him and eventually asked to meet our son. By the way, I want to congratulate you on hearing the fact that we have full episodes with more stories just like this one on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Now you know. You can listen to us forever. But there is a little bit more to the story, but what a disappointing story so far.
In a sense, yes, very disappointing, but also uplifting for OP's significant other.
Yeah.
He's learned, I guess they both have, but especially him, he's learned the hard way. He flew from the nest and spread his wings and he actually experienced life started off negatively, stressful, almost broke up, but you have to have the lows to really enjoy the highs. So he's enjoying life. He has a family now. OP has a family. It's crazy. And I guess his family sucks.
Yeah.
That's strenuous.
Exactly. Yeah, that acceptance, I mean, like she said, like, is a bit of a relief in a way. It sucks, but it's the reality of what you got going on.
I can see that he's trying to give them chance and chance and chance over and over again.
Yeah.
But it's not happening. It's not working, especially for the mother-in-law. She's a real piece of work. Wow.
Yeah. Absolutely. There is a little bit more. His mom also DM'd me separately saying how much she loved us and was so happy and asked me not to block her. I replied with a tough love response, calling out her behavior of manipulation, deceit, and lies, saying that I refuse to have a relationship with her or her husband until my husband receives a well overdue apology, and said that I didn't want to have to be firm, but years of her family being so scared of her and walking on eggshells didn't get them anywhere. I have to say, it felt fantastic. Last week, she employed another flying monkey who messaged my husband congratulating him on his new baby, saying how lucky he is to have such amazing parents to guide and support him. LMAO. It's getting desperate. All they have to do is apologize. Oh my gosh. Wait, I don't understand that. It's just another person?
It's another person, yeah. So I guess the parents maybe got like a cousin or like a friend.
Yeah.
Like
to try to get info about the new baby?
Trying to get info or just like, kind of put the salt on the wound of like, oh, your parents must have raised you so well.
Oh, I was thinking that they were saying like, I'm so happy that your new son has great parents.
No.
Oh my gosh.
It's the mother-in-law and father-in-law. Yeah.
It's like, great, actually. I don't think you'd be saying that after you found out what they do to me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But that's the end of that story.
Oh, that's it?
That sucks, man.
My fiance proposed to me without his parents knowing. They couldn't accept it.
Secrets are no fun.
My fiance, 30 male, and I, 27 female, have been dating for 3 years and got engaged 2 months ago. My fiance didn't introduce me to his parents until a year into the relationship, but the past 2 years have been good. By the way, this comes from me, 1020, and if you want to spin your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I got along really well with his parents and always enjoyed spending time or talking to them. They always expressed that they liked me and never gave me or him a reason to believe they didn't. There were a couple of off comments mother-in-law made in the past that I'll list, but I didn't think they were that big of a deal. We just ignored them. After sharing what neat freaks my parents were, mother-in-law at a family dinner said, I can't understand how anyone can live that way. They would have to be crazy. Mother-in-law is extremely messy. When hosting Thanksgiving in our new apartment for the first time, it's like, you guys are playing house. I don't see anything wrong with that. You guys are playing house.
I mean, it can be cute.
I don't know. When talking about wanting to move back into the city, I went to college because I had good offers there, job offers, and the cost of living there is lower. I can't understand why people would want to live there. Mother-in-law lives near our current place, so we would be moving further away. I see you. I see you. MIL.
I just hate that energy of it's like, I just don't understand why people. It's like, yeah, because you're not those people. Do you understand that maybe those people think differently from you and that you're not right about every single thing?
Yeah. 2 months ago, my fiance proposed. We immediately took a picture and sent it to his family. We were excited to share the news. Mother-in-law responded with, "What's that in her finger?" And my fiance responded, "An engagement ring." His sister responded with congratulations and excitement. But mother-in-law instead sent him a private message about how, "I'll just have to accept that you don't want me in your life and don't want to share it with me."
Were you planning on marrying your son, miss? I'm sorry. Was that your plan?
Yo.
I'm very confused.
It's a whole essay about how upset she was and how she wishes they were closer and so on. My fiance isn't great about sharing a lot of things, but we visit his parents a couple of times a year. They almost never make the effort to visit us. Celebrate multiple holidays with them, including a whole thing for Mother's Day and her birthday. He calls her at least once a month, plus anytime we have things to share with him, like the trip updates, and there's a family group text, and he will send them small updates there. And of course, this really upset my fiance, and the mood was ruined. It was nightmare. Oh.
It was
nightmare.
nightmare.
It was nighttime.
Which is when you usually have nightmares.
It was nighttime. So we went home and soon got a call from his dad asking when he proposed and why he didn't share it with them. My fiance said he just proposed tonight and that they were the first people he told, to which his dad said, "Oh, we thought you'd proposed previously and didn't tell us. Congratulations." Then his dad said, "You should talk to mother-in-law." She then started saying awful stuff and being mean. She was very upset and said, "Why didn't you ask me to go ring shopping with you?" He said, "I just didn't think of that." And said, "I mean, did you think about how happy it would have made me? Do you think about how I would feel at all?" Mother-in-law said. And the worst, she ended the call with, "I wish you would go to therapy so that way I wouldn't have to feel so lonely." So him going to therapy and you feeling lonely, how is that connected?
Yeah, I think maybe you need to go to therapy to figure out how to make your emotions your emotions and only yours, instead of somehow making them someone else's fault.
What? So I wouldn't feel so lonely. Dude, I
Go to
bet you if
therapy
he
so I
went to
don't feel so
therapy, he would see all the problems that you have. See, that's an example of a solution with no problem.
Well, it's so hard when someone just wants to be mad at you, because that's all that sound is like to me. Because she's like, "Why didn't you bring me ring shopping?" He's just like, "Because I just didn't think about." First of all, I bet you this woman, if you did take her anywhere, would have ruined the surprise of your proposal. First of all, would have immediately been like, "I just couldn't help myself," and then would have made it someone else's fault that she let it out. But you go, "I just didn't think about it." And then she goes, "Well, then do you ever think about me at all? You didn't think about how much it would have made me happy?" It's like, no, I didn't think about it. I already told you I didn't. So
mind-boggling. She also said to tell me I'm happy if she's happy. Well, then she's happy. The mother-in-law's happy, which I can't place why, but that really bothers me. Maybe I'm crazy, so let me know if I am, but why couldn't she just say she was happy for us? She then tried to plan an engagement party, but told us it would have to be between 2 dates based on her friend, who always wanted to host it and whom I'm only met once, and his sister's availability. Her friend's house is 3 hours away from us, and we don't have a car, and is of no significance to my fiance other than being mother-in-law's friend.
That's insane. No, you're not going to plan our engagement party if that's the way you're going to plan it. You're not going to do that. Next idea.
Thanks for that. After not responding to her invite for a week, we were emotionally exhausted and wanted to wait until the weekend to respond. She got upset and said my fiance was punishing her for no reason, and he was being disrespectful by not responding. When he explained why we were hurt and upset, she got upset and then sent a long, nasty text and said her reaction had nothing to do with our engagement and was between her and him, implying I had no business in knowing about her outburst. She said she barely knew me and only could think of 2 dinners we had together. We've known each other for 2 years, and we've even sent private texts to each other. I've also been on many phone calls with my fiance and his parents. That is the most annoying thing when people are like, I just don't know you, or they just don't know you that well.
Yeah, this is especially when it's like, yeah, I know you. Did you forget? Did you forget about me? Like, and this is clearly coming from like a woman who's, I don't know what it is, but sometimes moms or even, parents, but I feel like mostly moms will like just develop this like obsession with the idea that like if their son is married to somebody, now they are like, just worthless trash.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what this is. She's just trying to other you, be like, I don't even know who you are. You're like a stranger. He probably doesn't even know you either. I'm the only woman he needs in his life, which is like, whoa, I'm afraid of you.
Yeah, this is not, I don't like this at all. I would have guessed we spent at least 10 occasions together in person, each time the whole day. She also never made any comments before about wanting to spend more time with me or getting to know me more. She then made a comment about me having a bad relationship with my parents and saying I treat them badly. I have been emotionally harmful parents and I've gone through years of therapy for it. I'm very low contact with them. My fiance responded with another text explaining we needed time and that she spoiled our engagement. She eventually sent us both a text apologizing. Here are the main points. She said she regrets her reaction to our engagement. She asked for a do-over and to pretend it never happened. She said that it was easier than wishing she was someone else and explained how she has always been like this and my fiance knows this. That's not an excuse. And then said that her outburst happens because of fatigue, hunger, trauma, medication, ADHD, etc. She said her reaction had nothing to do with me.
I spit on that and I don't accept it.
Yeah. Like if you're bringing up like this is why you're reacting because of these things in your life, you are X years old and you have had X years to understand yourself and to come to an area of this is how my brain works, but this is how I'm going to train my behavior towards this.
Mm-hmm. She's just completely my brain broke when she was like, can we just do it again? And it's like a do-over, like it never happened. It's like, what are you, 7? You're going to just plug your ears and go, la, 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 la. No, I can just pretend I didn't do that. And then we can all be happy. It's like, what do you live in a freaking delusional la la land? Like,
dude, she then was sorry about the comments she made about my parents out of ignorance. She said if she had known I was listening, she wouldn't have asked my fiance to consider going ring shopping with her. She ended with a story about how his father never proposed to her and how his father's mother offered to pick out a ring for her and she said no thanks. No explanation as to why she wanted to share that story. A few weeks ago, we called my fiance's parents to speak about the situation, and we got more deflections / reasonings, our feelings being dismissed, and a lot of small talk / changing the topic.
Oh,
dude, this is wild.
Dude, nothing bothers me more than like when you like bring something up where it's like, this might be a bit, this could be a little uncomfy, or like saying something that's like, hey, maybe I kind of disagree with that. And then instead of furthering the conversation, it's just like hard pivot into like, ooh, I really like that shade of red over there. It's like, what are you doing? Like, to talk to me.
Not
like,
very mature. When my fiance asked that mother-in-law not have harsh reactions in the future, she responded with, I'll try, but we'll see. My fiance since then saw a therapist, and we have spoken a lot about the stress this has put on our relationship. We haven't gotten to celebrate our engagement at all, and have had many arguments about this because he doesn't want to recognize the emotional manipulation patterns she has, and I have to point them out. Also, his dad and sister keep enabling her. They will admit to us mother-in-law is wrong, but we need to be understanding, or that's just how she is, and we should do X, Y, and Z to keep the peace. He has grown a lot in the past 2 months, from excuses / wanting to keep working on it with his parents to realizing their poor behavior. But this has been hard on me because all this is exactly how my parents treated me growing up, and I hate walking on eggshells or prioritizing others' happiness or the peace over being treated with respect. We had another phone call with his parents tonight, as my fiance wanted one more before agreeing to boundaries. It was awful. Mother-in-law kept saying we were being hurtful, and she can't control our feelings / it's our fault we are upset. The phone call became about how much his parents are upset by my fiance not sharing enough, and when we explained that we are scared to share due to her reactions, they said it wasn't fair and that she can't change who she is, that she didn't intend to be hurtful, so we can't hold that against her, and the only way to solve this is to share more. They kept being dismissive of both of our feelings and not letting us finish talking, while also saying, I just don't understand why you feel that way, as we are trying to explain to them why we feel that way. They also kept saying my feelings weren't valid because this isn't about me, and so many awful things. His dad responded to me saying we don't know what we can or can't say that will tick her off, as well, that's just because you don't know her well enough. If you did, you would know what her sensitivities are. Mother-in-law kept saying we were saying she wasn't allowed to have feelings, which isn't what we were saying at all.
Yeah, so I feel like I read it in there that she's trying to use the thing like, it's like, we just can't help but the way that we feel, and being like, that's why I'm blameless. These are my feelings, and we can't help the way that we feel. Then she's also being like, but your feelings don't count at all. And also, that's just fundamentally not true.
Yeah.
We have to be masters of our feelings. If we aren't, they will get us into all kinds of trouble and all kinds of terrible situations.
I have been very big on the theme of drawing the line in the sand. Where is this line, and when are you just going to throw the towel in? Because you can't reason with a fool. You can't. You can try. You can
real hard.
Run out of breath, but they're not going to see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
When I explained how my fiance had a problem sharing with me early on in our relationship, and I approached that with understanding and love and not criticism, she said, well, sorry, I can't be you. And of course, the constant, how can you say that after mother-in-law raised you and loves you so much? Basically, I'm writing this because I feel insane. I can't really vent to my fiance because I know this is hard on him. And from personal experience, I know that criticizing parents heavily will push him away and make it harder for him to realize how bad they are. Also, I'm trying to be understanding since it took me years to realize how bad my parents were, and that was through therapy, and slowly distancing myself from them. I know it's a lot for him to deal with in only a couple of months, but I need someone to tell me if my feelings are valid or if I'm letting my trauma with my parents misguide me. That's something his parents said, and I was making them into my parents, but they're not. Here's how I really feel. Adding the context, I love his parents and imagined a very close relationship prior to our engagement blow up. I think they're awful people. I think his mother feels entitled to being in his life in the way she wants to, regardless of how he feels. I think she is self-centered and selfish. She is emotionally harmful and tries to make people feel bad for wanting or feeling anything that doesn't align with her. She can never say sorry. It's always excuses or, I'm sorry you feel that way, or I'm sorry that happened. How about, I'm sorry I said awful things and I hurt your feelings. She's always a victim. Like, how dare we upset her? I think she has no life. She doesn't have a job and she complains about almost all of her friends. His dad is an enabler, and I can't believe he doesn't see it because she does it to him too. I'm so emotionally exhausted, and I'm scared I'm taking it out on my fiance. At the same time, I also feel neglected, and there's no one who would tell me what a-holes his parents are. And no one seems to understand I feel bad every time I'm upset or call out what they are being emotionally harmful because I feel so alone in seeing them for who they truly are.
That is always such an upsetting situation.
Any comments or advice are welcome. I just want to have a truly honest conversation about this without worrying about my fiance's feelings or his family's feelings. Whew!
Oh, brother.
That's a handful. I think... What are your thoughts on him going to therapy?
I mean, the fact that she's like, you should go to therapy so that I don't feel so lonely. Yeah, your mom is crazy toxic. I think he does need to go to therapy, but I don't think he'll think he needs to go to therapy.
I think as well, husband's in therapy. He's slowly realizing like how you went through that experience. Patience. Also, it's really smart that she's not putting this on him because it's not his fault. And he's already getting a lot of pressure from his mom. A season of hibernation from the mother. That's That's my little wisdom of the day.
I agree with that wisdom.
We got in comment. I think it's a mistake for you to have been on the call. His parents are going to shift all of their anger and outrage on you, and it's only going to be irreparably damage on your relationship with your mother-in-law and father-in-law. Your only hope is really that your fiance's therapy kicks in and he sees his parents for who they are and stands up to them. Because if he does not do that, and if he stays enmeshed with them, he's going to stand by while they absolutely torture and torment you for the rest of your life, for however long you decide to stay. Sound like the devil. You should always have your fiance deal with his family to avoid that exact repercussion. I agree. I once got in the middle of siblings. Worst mistake of my life. Let the siblings have it out. Let the family have it out. If they come to you and say, hey, how do you feel about this? Stand up.
Once you're called upon.
Yeah. Opie says, I know they will blame me, and I'm okay with that. After that call, I have no hope of repairing my relationship with them, so they can hate me all they want. We agree that I would be on call with him because mother-in-law wouldn't acknowledge the hurt she caused me, ruining our engagement night and saying mean things about me to him in her follow-up texts. And he was trying to get her to do that. Also, he had one call with her alone at the start, and he's so used to her behavior, it's hard for him to remember exactly what happened. Like he told me she apologized on that call. I asked if she said the words, I'm sorry, and took responsibility for our engagement night. He says he can't remember. They were also really good at guilt tripping him and manipulating by either changing the subject so he never gets to talk about what he actually wants to talk about, or play victim and get him to apologize to them instead, or talk nonsense and just make him feel crazy. When I'm a part of the conversation afterwards, I can tell him he's not crazy, so he doesn't give in to whatever they want him to. And they're not the victim, no matter how much they say they are. He did most of the talking and calling out too. I did tell him they have to hear from him because they don't care about my feelings. I only spoke to them when they were addressing me or trying to explain things in other ways. And things seemed to get too frustrating between the three of them. We have an update. Oh my gosh, I am wanting to rip my hair out just reading this. Ugh. Long sentences too.
Why are we entertaining this mother?
Yeah.
We don't have to entertain her. I'm exhausted that this guy can't see that his own mom, when his partner is being like, hey, she's doing this, he just goes, no, she's not, and pulls away.
Yeah.
And then the extra dastardly of them to be like, you're just turning us into your family, knowing that you had like an abusive family. So of course you're going to be like, wait, am I doing that? Am I crazy? Am I just seeing them everywhere? And now it's like, they've got you second guessing yourself. Trash.
Yeah.
Your partner needs to be sticking up for you.
Yeah. Update. My last post, my fiance and I talked, and we agreed to go in no contact for 2 months. Would be a good start. We wanted to get 2 months back since our engagement to actually enjoy our engagement and not have to deal with his parents' drama anymore. After the 2 months, we would reevaluate what we wanted to do with his parents. I thought the 2 months would help him realize how unhappy his parents made him and make it easier for him to commit a complete no contact. But he soon brought up how he doesn't think he wants his parents at the wedding. We were planning on getting married in 2026. He said he wanted to go to therapy. We're looking for a therapist and are debating on if he should do individual or couples therapy. Haley wants to do it one at a time. The day after the last call with his parents, we decided to call his sister and let her know what happened. She was aware of everything up until the call, and to tell her we were going no contact for 2 months and not to speak to her parents about this. The call was okay. She listened and didn't impose any opinions on us and had no problems not speaking to her parents about us, but she never said what they did was wrong. Her comments were, that makes me sad that that happened. And when I said, even if they apologize, I don't ever see myself having a good relationship with them because I'll never trust them. And if they're ever being genuine, she said, that makes me sad to hear that. I've always gotten along well with my fiance's sister and enjoyed hanging out and talking with her, but I didn't love this phone call. I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't feel super good after it either.
I mean,
she's in the box. She's in the love box. She can't, if she steps out of the love box, she's going to get hurt.
I mean, I think this is exactly what you were talking about earlier. Where it's like, people who are just like, I'm going to stay out of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this is between them and you and my brother. Like, yeah, it makes me, I'm not going to be like yes or no, bad or good either way. I'm just going to be like, Well, it makes me sad to hear that I guess things aren't going to work out between you and my parents.
Yeah.
It's like, please. It's like, that's just, let me translate that for you. Please, for the love of God, do not rope me into this.
Yeah.
For God's sakes.
Yeah. It's wild. It's weird. It's weird. Is that normal? Does anyone have any advice on how or if one should keep a relationship with family members who remain in contact with their mother-in-law? That phone call with his sister happened 3 days ago. Today, my fiance told me his sister called to share that she was also hurt that he didn't share with her that he was going to propose to me. She just waited to share to not overshadow our engagement. That's just his fault. If that's why you're mad, I don't know. And plus, he doesn't have to share that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Why are all these people entitled to this information like it's like not his proposal?
Yeah.
Like what? So like, yeah, oh my God, I have this really secret thing I'm going to do. I'm going to tell as many people about it as possible.
No,
like we actually had a friend. We had a friend recently that had like a secret proposal. And like, I don't know how many people knew about it.
I knew.
But yeah, I knew. And it was freaking me out that I knew because I would see the person that he was going to propose to. And I'd be like, don't say it, 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 don't say it. Like, I hated it. I hated knowing that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful that it did. And they said yes. But I would keep that real close to the vest.
Now my fiance feels crazy and is worried he is the problem since that's what started this whole drama with his parents. My friends and family have never had this idea of being entitled to knowing about someone's life. I would never expect someone, no matter how close, to share with me if they were planning to propose unless I asked them. His parents and his sister never asked if he was thinking of proposing or really asked about his relationship with me. So I find it odd that they just expect him to share that when they know he isn't good at sharing things.
It's just all weird.
That feels like an excuse.
Yeah.
Am I wrong for thinking this? I don't know if this is a cultural thing because my fiance and I come from different backgrounds. Additionally, my fiance normally spends the day with his dad for Father's Day. So his parents are upset that he isn't made plans / isn't responding about that. My fiance is also sad that he doesn't get to spend the holiday with his dad. You can spend every single moment with us by joining OK Storytime on your favorite freaking podcast platform. All you got to do is search up those magic words on Apple, iHeartRadio, or Spotify.
O to the K to the story time.
And you can spend an eternity basically with us. Anyways, I'm just going to finish it. I feel bad that he is having a hard time with this, and I don't know how to support him. I don't think he's crazy and try to explain to them that they are purposely doing that to him and that it's wrong. But it's gotten to him so bad that instead of my thoughts on the situation reassuring him, now he thinks we're both crazy. Any and all advice is appreciated. I ended up showing him the last post to my fiance, and he said it made him feel better reading all the comments. I was worried the mean ones would get to him, but he actually thought there would be more. LOL. He had an honest conversation after reading comments together, and I feel like it brought us so much closer. Thank you for everyone who commented. My apologies if I'm unable to respond to comments. We got a comment from, but I think it's just like she's saying the same thing. Oh, man.
We did it.
Boy, that was a long one.
More like boy wonder over here.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, God, we're both so clammy and sweaty.
That's just you. But guys, that's the end of that story.